And welcome back to another edition of the Boys in the Big Apple podcast, everybody. What is going on, chat? What is going on, members as well? Like, comment, subscribe, do all the good stuff. Turn on post notifications so you know when a live stream pops or drops. I see we got some members in the chat. Now, I will say this before I do introductions and like all these other different things. We have another member of the panel tonight. So I'm going to need everybody to spam the Let Brian Bake, Let Him Bake, custom emojis. And if you haven't already, please buy your Let Brian Bake shirt. But anyway, with that being said, I do want to go to Angry John first for first thoughts.
What is up, everyone? How we doing tonight? Thank you all for joining the chat tonight and watching. What do we have tonight? We got playoff hockey. We have playoff basketball at the same time. So this is friggin' amazing. This is like a Christmas day for me. We got regular season baseball, my New York Mets. That's right. We called up Brett Beatty. Goodbye, easy out, Escobar, you piece of garbage, okay? It is my time to smile, all right? And we got the NFL draft next week. So a lot of shit to cover.
Yeah, definitely. It's all counting down. Luca.
Things are looking up. The Yankees split this series with the Minnesota Twins, okay? The New York Knicks won their first road playoff game one since 1999 against the Miami Heat, but this time it was against the Cleveland Cavaliers. These Cleveland Cavaliers out here being soft, okay? Isaac Okoro talking about Jalen Brunson's foul drawing antics, talking about the contact.
I didn't know we had Mike Princess on here.
Talking about all these different things. But hockey starting, Rangers playing tomorrow, which, again, same time as the Knicks, which is completely stupid. But I'll watch both, obviously. And, I don't think there's much to cover, and NFL draft as well.
Yeah, definitely. Just a reminder, NFL draft prospect that we will be covered next week. This week, we're doing a couple other different things. So we'll have you on that. We're full week of live streams next week, including the draft, of course. Once again, guys, if you are a member, spam your Let Brian Bake or Let Him Bake emojis. Brian, what is going on?
I don't know. A lot of mixed emotions right now. The Yankees, they're looking okay. I mean, still a lot of critiques. That's one. Two, like John said, hockey playoffs is going on. I'm ready for my spirit to get crushed. And it already is because the Bruins are up 1-0. As you guys can see, we're repping the hometown team of the Florida Panthers today.
Ooh.
And
is there a jersey or is it just a regular shirt?
Just a regular shirt. I could have worn my Panthers Huberto shirt because, that's only the thing I got.
He doesn't play for them anymore. Sorry.
I know. I told you I was about to order the jersey on eBay when the trade happened. I had it in my cart. I was going to go through, and I got the notification saying that Huberto got traded to Calgary. And I was like, what am I going to do? I was about to spend like $150 on a jersey. I was like, I don't even know if I'm going to like Tkachuk. Obviously, that's changed. I do like him a lot. But, just a lot of things I'm wondering. Can we even take one game against the Bruins? But if you're talking about NBA, we got some serious issues to talk about.
With your team. With your team, because Giannis is hurt.
Yeah. It's I also have a really big issue to talk about involving Reggie Miller because of the bullshit he was pulling last night with his backhanded calls and judgments towards the Bucks. I mean, every other word out of his mouth was some anti-Giannis or anti-Milwaukee, and it was just bad. Like when Tyler Hero went down and broke his hand, Miller goes, I think Hero's a bigger loss for Miami than it is Giannis for the Bucks. And I was like, what in the world is this rhetoric? I couldn't take it. It was really bothering me. So I might have to do a little rant on that today. But yeah, busy day.
Hey, guys, let him bake.
Let him bake.
Reggie Miller is stupid, by the way. So I agree with Brian's sentiment.
I can't stand it. Can't stand it.
That's not necessarily hard to say, but I'm going to put this in the chat before we get our first thoughts. And shout outs to Jets mess as well. We got merch. We're still doing some more stuff with the merch. I'm doing some stuff behind the scenes. Katarina's in the chat.
Oh, no.
Yep. No. So, Brian,
great reaction to the fans.
I waited to hear the first words of saying, Brian, why do you sound so dumb today?
Hey, we got to let Brian bake.
He is going to bake.
Yes, he's going to.
Yeah, let's just hope I don't burn the kitchen down.
Hope is a strong word in this sense. Shout out to JC. He also shared us out on Twitter, so shout out to JC in the chat.
Thank you, JC.
just a couple of updates for you guys. Tomorrow night, we will be live streaming the Knicks game 2 with Jiggaman Porto and Hector Beauchamp. And then Wednesday, I know me and Luca will be on Game Season for NYY News TV, and then a couple of streams to follow up. Brian, please put yourself on mute, Katarina.
I said it was going to start, guys. I said it. Oh, my gosh.
Do you want to?
And Alex, of course, never removes the phone from the room. So I'm curious, how long is it? Hold on, let me read Jacob's comment. How long is it going to be until Brian completely tunes out a topic?
My dick.
Over under. Over on Alex, we got to set that over under. The tune outs. Over under.
Right.
Over under is 1.5.
1.5 2. Remember, this is every episode now. 1.5 tune outs. Over under, guys.
I got the over. I'm going on the over.
We can say that's for hats or zoning out.
He's got the over. He's got the over.
2.5 over.
Maybe we should make a merch that has like a Brian confused face. What just happened?
Kind of like the Nick Young meme with my face on it instead.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
We already got it over.
Someone get Brian some tissues. Maybe Angry John has spare from his birthday.
Tissues? Why do I need tissues, buddy?
Or over if Florida is getting killed. Well, I mean, also he might be more tuned in. Oh, I mean, yeah, there's you can kind of split that both ways. But with that being said, I guess we'll start on the baseball topic. By the way, even though we're not on the Mets subject yet, I just want to share this from this past weekend. John was over my house yesterday for the Mets game.
Thank you, Jacob. Thank you.
Games.
See, a kind fan, a kind fellow. Thank you, Jacob.
It was Angry John's birthday on Saturday for anyone who doesn't know. And I did thank you for anyone who liked the community post. But anyway.
I know I was going to say one thing. I don't know if he's watching, but Armand from Jets Turbulence, a third guy, when I was in the chat on Saturday, because they were at this event out in Long Island where they were meeting up with a couple of Jets players, a lot of Jets legends. Kevin Moore, I actually met through a StreamYard screen. He's a really nice guy. Richard Todd, Ken O'Brien, they met those guys. But Armand, when I was in the chat, was going on how much he likes the show, talking about Angry John, talking about Alex, talking about myself, Donald, how great of a job we do over here. So I appreciate the comment from Armand and the rest of Jets Turbulence.
Yeah, absolutely. Those guys do a great job. Katarina says Brian has an Eagles and a Bucks hat in the background. Yeah, with last episode, he has not changed that setup.
There was serious stuff going on last year if you were there for it. But also, don't forget, there's also a Dolphins hat hiding here. You got the Buccaneers helmet, a Tim Tebow Broncos figure.
Oh, God.
I mean, just like there's everything. And if you could barely see at the top of the camera, there's my Jeter #2 and the Brooklyn Nets hat. And on the other side, that's out of view for a reason, there are a shit ton of basketball hats of a lot of teams that I will not show. I mean, we're talking Rockets, Hornets, Pistons, Bucks, everything. Like, I have everything.
There's got to be some sort of wheel that you just spin in your house and decide what to wear that day.
Well, listen, I told you guys, I'm already on the hunt for my big grail. There's like a grail hat I'm looking for, or jersey that I want to own, of the 2000s Jays. That was one of the greatest sports logos of all time, and I want to get something that relates to it because I just think it's such an amazing logo, an emblem.
Was Roy Halladay on the team?
Yes, it was Roy Halladay, Vernon Wells, Lyle Overbay, early Jose Batista with them. They had a lot. Wow. And I love the jersey so much, but they changed the logos. All of a sudden, you can't find any of it. Nobody makes it.
Just throw out anything we had for tonight's show because Brian's he's gonna bake.
Yeah, again, anyone who's a channel member, you got the let him bake emoji.
And our deal is still on, John.
Katarina said, "This is sad." Jacob says, "Katarina, he has the definition of bandwagon." Oh, Katarina knows very well. See, Brian, he is one of those fans who is always guaranteed a championship in every sport because he has a hat of every single sport team. I can't say he's wrong there. I don't
Listen,
know.
I got a couple Super Bowl hats. I do. I've got my Buccaneers Super Bowl champs.
Jay's got the idea. Jay's got the idea.
Yeah, he's got it. Let him bake.
Of course he does.
Let him bake.
Of course he does.
Let him bake. Let him bake.
Listen, at least I own a Giants one. At least I have a Giants Super Bowl hat.
But you're not a Giants fan.
Congratulations.
Listen, I'm just understand this. I know Luca can't defend me here.
Understand. There we go, John. Understand.
All right, and for Luca's sake, look, if I'm being completely transparent here, I mean,
what is this becoming?
What are we doing here? In the words of
collecting hats, it's my second passion.
In the words of Tyson Roush from Let's Talk Jets Radio, what are we doing here?
Brian, we don't want your fandom.
Brian, what are you drinking over there?
This is like a giant thing of coffee that I have mixed with some Baileys in it and a little bit of like a creamer. That's it.
Okay. So the one thing in that area that's not bandwagon related.
Maybe. No idea.
I don't think you can be a bandwagon coffee fan.
Dude, I could drink a gallon of it a day if I had to.
Do we know who we're talking about? Right. Okay. With that being said, I guess we could start it out with baseball, and I was going to do this before we got a load of comments, which is great, by the way. As I said, John was over my house this weekend, and he was raging. Even though the Mets won and they swept, he was raging at the TV. So let's take a look.
Rihanna's got power, but come on, he's a free swinger, so.
Some good stuff happening with the Mets right now.
I just don't understand. Why are we bringing him in?
Robertson was also warming up.
He should have been warmed up. I don't give a shit he pitched yesterday. This is nonsense that guys can't go 2 days in a row anymore. Oh, every pitch is going to give me a fucking heart attack. You know, let's call up our top prospect just so our easy out third baseman and ground into a double play. Ooh.
I got NBA injury news. Giannis is out for the rest of the game, and Tyler Hero broke his hand.
Holy shit.
See, I mean, at the end, it does relate to Brian's trauma.
I'm going to say real quick, I couldn't even see the clip. I don't know why it didn't pop up in my view, but
for some reason, it didn't pop up. But
yeah, I didn't have it. It just said your browser failed to play the clip.
Does that count as a Daisy moment?
I don't think it
does.
Not
count in the over/under. It shouldn't count. That's out of my control.
After review of the play, it does not count as an over/under.
Thank you.
Brian,
people would love to put their life savings on this because you just never know.
I agree with Jay. Brian, it's overcooked.
Down.
You can stop baking now.
He's burned the house down.
Yeah, he's completely burned the house down. Also, shout out to Jets Best Mess for sharing us out on Twitter.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Oh, Ekblad getting chippy here.
What, a fight?
Yeah, he started going at Mozak.
Anyway, I'll start off with my Yankees. A couple of things happened this weekend.
Johnny Brito got his ass blown up.
Yes, Johnny Brito got his ass completely handed to him. So there's that. They took 2 of 4, so they split the series between the Twins. I mean, I don't want to complain about a team that's not lost a series yet, but it's hard not to find the little, I would say, discrepancies with this team, if you will. Like, I'm happy that Garrett Cole is a legitimate ace. He's pitching really well. He is a Cy Young candidate at this moment. But then you got the other half where they're calling up Oswald Peraza. I mean, there's a lot of things we could break down, but Luca, your thoughts on the Yankee weekend first.
It was so-so. I thought they should have won Friday night's game. Obviously, they brought in Clay Holmes, and he blew it because he's been very inconsistent. I don't think he should be the closer. Right now, they should I don't want to say that they probably should run it closer by committee. It might sound stupid. It might not. But regardless, I thought it should have been a better weekend for the Yankees. I think they should have taken 3 out of 4. Yeah, but I thought they could have won 3 or 4. This Twins team wanted to be beat. Garrett Cole, I love what he did yesterday. He was showing himself he was the true ace. Saturday, Yankees did well as well. But yeah, I thought they really could do 3 or 4 from this series. But the Oswald Peraza stuff continues to bother the hell out of me because it shows that nothing has changed with the way the organization has done things. You can tell me that Brian Sabine's in the office. You can tell me that Omar Minaya is in the office. It doesn't change for who Brian Cashman is. And Aaron Boone coming out here saying, oh, well, he's going to be sent back down.
Did he literally say that?
Well, I think he said it was basically inferred. like Aaron Boone said that, once Donaldson comes back up, Rosin's going to be the one sent down.
Bro, we almost blew it yesterday. Boone legit said if someone got on Correa was going to face Holmes. Yeah, no. Holmes.
But
Holmes
by the
is-
way, I was going to say, congrats to Anthony Volpe hitting his first big league home run.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He did that. What was it? Saturday?
Friday.
I remember because I went in the shower and I missed the home run. So fun. But John, in the little glimpses of, and I'll talk about it after, in the little glimpses of what you saw at Yankee baseball this weekend, what are your thoughts?
Well, first off, this is typical of them. They're right now just playing above average. You saw the first game. I mean, I said it in my video in the membership video that if anyone saw that was posted this morning. First off, that first game, that was just embarrassing. Brito got beat the hell up. Sup to Evan. Thank you for joining. His fastball was just like flat. And he just, for some reason, he was avoiding his best pitch to the changeup. And the Twins just beat him down. And, once you get into a blowout, you don't even get to bat and it's like already 9-0. It's kind of hard to like mentally come back from that. So that game was terrible. And then Aaron Boone struck again, like Lucas said Friday, and he did his classic little magic, which cost you game 2, in my opinion. I don't understand if you got guys in the bullpen that could pitch like Peralta or Loizaga.
Loizaга's hurt.
Well, yeah, I'm saying in a typical when everyone's healthy. You have other guys like Marinaccio or King, if you want to put in the 8th or 7th inning situations, why they're putting in Clay Holmes. But then we saw the good parts on Saturday and Sunday. I predicted in our predictions video that Garrett Cole would win the Cy Young. Boy, do I look like a genius right now. Not to toot my own horn, but he's one of those guys where when he's on a roll, he's on a roll. And the pitch clock has definitely helped him a lot because he's just getting into a rhythm. And the scary thing about him is he doesn't fall behind many batters. Like he'll get 2 strikes quickly on you, and it's like, I already have to defend the plate. So, we expect him to do his thing, and then the tough news today I thought was you guys lost Stanton for 4 to 6 weeks. So that's why I'm skeptical on him, and I have been. And when he's healthy, he's good. But that's why I was very harsh on him last year. You can't stay healthy. Another injury like this. And by the way, that should count out as a zoning out, in my opinion. That Brian was gone for like 5 minutes.
Dude, my internet crapped out. I literally just texted you guys. Come on.
Yeah, John. Give Brian a break. Let Brian have a break, or I don't know. Kit Kat. John, your PhD came into play with your Cy Young pick. As of right now, it's paying off pretty well. No Mets fan can ever look like a genius. You know what, Brad? You might have the right mentality here.
But he's wrong, because I am a genius.
Just because you have a PhD doesn't mean you're God.
Well, I'm pretty close to him.
Okay.
Well, now, come on. That was a joke.
No, well, I mean, you also root for the Jets, so that doesn't really make you God.
Hey, don't come after Luca's team.
Yeah, I was going to say, Luca's taking offense to that one.
There. That'll do it.
You motherfucker just ejected me on my own
We
show.
started a war. Uh-oh.
I was like, wait, hold on. Who crapped out? I'm like, oh, wait. Shots to Booyah in the chat was going. We were doing good, man.
Booyah.
Alex is an unbiased ref tonight. Listen, I'm. You know what? Thank you, Jacob, for that reminder because we have to do something here. We have to do something. Middleman.
Yep,
and if you were a member, that is now an emoji. Middleman. Yes. So just wanted to clarify that. Brian, your quick thoughts before we dive into some more takeaways from the Yankee weekend.
Now, this isn't fair because I crapped out before we could get into the topic. So, I mean, what are we talking about? This isn't on me now.
We were talking just takeaways from the Yankee weekend, Brian. What did you think of what you watched? Did you have any
got it. All right.
concerns?
I'll sum it up like this. That start of the series was abysmal. At the level of how bad it was, I'm sitting there at work in my lunch break, and they have the Yankee game going, and I'm thinking I could eat my salad in peace and, not have any issues. And I'm watching the TV, and it's like 0-0. I'm like, okay, no problem. On my phone, scrolling through Twitter for 5 minutes. Put it down. I look up. It's already 7-0 Twins, and I kind of I didn't realize what was going on, why it was 7-0. And then I saw Correa hit the home run, and everybody in the building just went, oh, my God, what's wrong with the Yankees? Collectively, everybody was just staring at the TV, couldn't believe what they were watching. It was just a horrific start to the series. And, you can say what you want. I think we recovered well in the last 2 games. Pitching stepped up. Bats got a little bit better. And we finished the job. But at least we pulled out a split. We know a lot of questions were left. And we didn't have answers for them now. So now we're going to go into what's the next series now? We're going into against the Angels.
That is correct. A 2-game set.
That starts tomorrow. So you're going to have Ohtani and Trout versus Judge and, well, I can't really say anybody else because everybody else is either hurt or it hasn't been hitting well.
Right.
So it's going to be a challenging series.
Rizzo he's in pretty well. I didn't even know how well he was. I think he's hitting 330 this year to start.
He's at a hot
Who
start.
are you talking about hitting 330?
Anthony Rizzo.
Rizzo?
Yeah, Rizzo's on
Rizzo's
fire.
hitting 315. His splits are 315, 406 OBP, and slugging's 574.
He's
Okay.
doing really good.
He's hitting very well. I mean, look, he was only 2 runs before in the opening series against the Twins. In the opening. So
Right.
Joe says, "What is up, cock smokers?" What is up, Joe?
What's up, Joe?
What is up, Joe? And I know also Killer Joe over here in the comment section has been a big advocate ever since the Stanton injury, which happened. Well, the news was announced on Sunday. I didn't get to make a short about it, but basically, kind of referencing back in hindsight to Bryce Harper, that we could have had him and Machado for the combined salary that we have Donaldson and Stanton. So take your hindsight, but that could also be true at the same time. And I mean, we'll get into that stuff a little bit, but I do want to talk about this whole. I guess you could kind of combine it with the Stanton thing as well. This whole Oswald Peraza thing, and someone argued with me on Twitter, they're just giving him at bats. You don't treat your number 2, number 3 prospect like this. You do not. In my personal opinion, for anyone who doesn't know, I think they called up Peraza when Stanton went on the IL for 2 reasons. Number 1, they only have one outfielder that's not on the regular roster on the 40-man. That's Everson Pierre, who's in Somerset. So they're probably not going to call him up. That's A. B, because they want to justify Aaron Hicks playing the outfield. Willie Calhoun's not going to play the outfield. He's playing DH. So he's probably going to be taking Stanton's spot. You got Judge. Apparently Bader's supposed to be back soon. I don't know when. Donaldson's supposed to come back on Wednesday. So that's 2 days away. But they called up Peraza. It's dude, why didn't you just select Jake Bauers' contract? Jake Bauers has 6 home runs right now for the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders. And he's not the purest outfielder. But listen, he's kind of like a Cordero, the power type. I think the Yankees could use that in the absence of Giancarlo Stanton. I just don't get it. Are they trying to justify Aaron Hicks? Are they trying to let their prospects rot? All these sort of different things. I'm going to hit it to Luca first, but I also want to go to Eli's comment. There's potential dynasty on the Yankees' hands with Jones, Dominguez, Peraza, Volpe, and Cashman. Own core he built, and he fucks it up before he could even start. Luca, your thoughts?
I said in the open, it's you can change, some of the front office members. You can bring in Brian Sabine. You could bring Omar Minaya in, but you're not going to change Brian Cashman from who he is. He might get advisors, special advisors, but he's still the egotistical maniac we all know and hate. So none of this surprised me with the whole Peraza thing. It's disgraceful because the same thing happened to Clint Frazier, the same thing happened to Estevan Florial, and the same thing happened to Miguel Andujar. It's a continuing pattern because right now we're still trying to justify a terrible contract in Aaron Hicks. It's ridiculous.
Brian, your thoughts?
I think you're right about it justifying Aaron Hicks. You guys already saw what I've been putting. Series finale against the Twins, we had a great performance from Cole. Offense did its thing, but what also got overshadowed was the fact that Hicks went 0 for 3 or 0 for 4. And at one point, he slammed his helmet and was having a meltdown. And it was like me, I just kept posting the same thing. It's like, great win, but let's not forget, what does he even do on this team? What does he even do? There's nothing. The problem is nobody sees it. Nobody wants him. So what are we stuck with? We're stuck with a bad contract, which this may be a little bit of a stretch, but I'm going to put it there. If he doesn't improve anytime soon, I'm going to compare this to the Jacoby Ellsbury contract. That's what I'm going to do. Except the difference is that Hicks actually played, and he played like Ellsbury did when Ellsbury was hurt and never on the field. So, if I'm comparing it to that, that's not good. And, I mean, you're right about one thing. Frenchie can totally play the outfield. You could even put Cabrera out there with Judge as the 3. If Calhoun needs to play the outfield, so be it. You want to put IKF in the outfield. I hate to say it. Do it. I hate to say it. Do it.
I mean,
I would rather put IKF out there than put Hicks out there. That's where I'm at. I'm mentally at that point now. And then the infield, there's so much more you could do despite the fact you called up Peraza. Maybe move DJ to third, keep Volpe at short, put Glaber in to start at second if you have to. There's more options there. Peraza needs to come in to fill in. Great. Give DJ a rest day, put Peraza on third. There's a lot of options they can move around with here, but Hicks should not be a focal point or center point, any of it.
Yeah. For all salient points, I'm going to include our 5th member of the panel, Sir Donald. Your thoughts from this past week? Obviously, I mean, we'll get to the Knicks and the playoffs later on, because I know obviously you're very excited about that, Donald. But with that being said, what are your thoughts on this past weekend from the Yankees performance-wise, and basically what they did?
One name for you, Garrett Cole, baby.
Garrett Cole.
Is taking names this year, man. He is taking names. I'm very excited about Garrett Cole. This is a new Garrett Cole. This is like Houston Garrett Cole, and I'm here for it. So that's one thing. We have to touch on Stanton, obviously. We have to touch on Peraza. What they're giving him the Scranton shuttle bus treatment, and I am not here for that at all. It's complete mistreatment of a key asset, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So yeah, apologies that I'm late. Obviously, some system stuff going on over here, but is the sound coming out okay?
Sounds good. Sounds coming out good.
That's fine. Okay, so yeah, let's start with Giancarlo Stanton. It's really unfortunate about Stanton because, like, when he's healthy and when he's on the field, he's freaking electric. I think he's the best power hitter in baseball. Like, all the stats back that up. It's just he's never on the field. I think his knees are shot. I think his legs are shot. It's just really unfortunate. However, I do think that the Yankees haven't helped him because I think all that load management is a bunch of nonsense. I think he's much better off playing every single day, and I don't think there's any proof to show that resting him every other day suddenly makes him healthier, because he was rested multiple times prior to this hamstring injury. Josh Donaldson was rested multiple times prior to his hamstring injury. I don't actually think it helps them. That's my take. It's my hot take. I really don't think it really makes you any healthier, because we're the most injured team in the league, and we do the most load management in the league. So I think you can blame them. You can blame the medical staff if you want, but something just doesn't quite add up. So I think it's the Yankees' philosophy. I think if you really want Stanton, you're gonna have to find a way of him playing every day, but you also have to make sure that he doesn't like try too hard to run out ground balls, because he's going to blow out his hamstrings. It's just something you have to manage. It's very unfortunate, but that's just where we are. I'd much rather him being on the field, taking good swings, and if he has to just settle for a single rather than a double, you do it. You know what I mean? I think it's a small sacrifice, and then waiting 6 weeks now, which really sucks. So that's one thing. Peraza, again, complete mistreatment of an asset. I don't understand why you would prioritize Josh Donaldson and Aaron Hicks, who aren't even like at this stage. Aaron Hicks isn't even a AA player anymore. He's not even a AA player at this stage in his career. He's completely shot, and they're prioritizing him and Josh Donaldson financially and also ego wise over Peraza, who's much better than both of them combined, and they're giving him the Andujar treatment, the Clint Frazier treatment, and the Florial treatment for someone where he's better than all three of them combined. That makes no sense to me at all. Like, that is not how you treat an asset. He's the top 100 prospects in all of baseball. It's not just on the Yankees, all of baseball. And they're treating him like this scrub that he can just sit on the shuttle bus. You're here for 2 days, but you're down. I don't want to play you because we don't want our egos to be affected by playing you. We don't want you to get good because then we'll have to answer to the fan base why we're not playing you. So sorry, dude, you're just gonna have to sit on that bus. Put on down that bus. We're not gonna have anything to do with you. I mean, it's complete disgrace. So yeah, I'm at that really.
Yeah, no, I sentiment with all your points, Donald. And I'm gonna ask this once, Li. Let me explain. Who had the? Can anybody tell me who had the 2 RBIs in yesterday's game? Hold on, let me look up the score. Let me look up what was the score in yesterday's game? Right, does anyone?
It
does anyone
was
remember?
It was 2-0 if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken.
Who had the 2 RBIs?
Mr. DJ.
Thank you, John.
My fault. I was not watching that game.
No. It's fine, Brian. But my point is, Li is saying that Peraza should be the starting third baseman, and DJ should be traded in the offseason. DJ's in 280. This is Li. This is Li. DJ LeMahieu is hitting 283 right now. Please stop.
Can I also
He's starting to look like the machine. That's how I'm going to put it. He's starting to look like the machine he was 4 years ago.
He was the reason why we. Sorry, he was the reason why we won. Obviously, apart from Garrett Cole, he was our offense the other day. Complete.
I know. Sorry, I'm just seeing more comments coming in saying, "Yeah, 2 RBIs, Peraza gives us more versatile offense." Are you saying that because they can't expect what to see? I mean, is that what the argument is? We saw what he did in spring training. He underwhelmed in spring training. When he was up here last season for a little bit, even the playoffs, he was underwhelming. At the same, I don't get it. Listen, is it because the appeal is that not a lot of pitchers have faced him, so they don't know how to pitch to him? Is that the appeal? Because if he's a generational player, great. He can hold his own for a couple years. But if he's somebody who isn't, they're going to figure him out in the first few months, and then he's going to fall down to a sub-200 hitter. I mean, what is the intention here? I just see him as a depth piece. He's not going to start. He's a Gleyber Torres lover.
Yes,
that's right. Yeah, Jacob's absolutely right. And I also add, I was like, oh, look at all the guys who want to trade Gleyber his first couple of games. Folks, Gleyber Torres in his last 7 games is hitting 190.
I know why now his
hot and cold.
And now I'm freaking out because what did I say? He'll start hot and he'll get cold. Why am I wrong here?
No,
I mean,
you're not.
To be fair, Torres is hitting 286, but still, like, you can't sit here and tell me that DJ LeMahieu's not a. And also, for your trade Stanton thing, he has a no trade clause in his contract. Like, he selects who he goes to. Like, that's just that. No, I know Brad. Li does hate DJ. What up? So Armand, he says, "Hey guys." Also, according to Evan Grant, Jacob deGrom has been pulled from the Rangers game after 4 no-hit innings, waiting on word for exit.
What do you know?
I'm looking out right now.
What's the point of thinking of breaking down injury-prone DJ LeMahieu?
He's trending, so.
I mean, we literally just said 286. Was it 283?
I don't want to continue to give credence to this, man. Like, this dude, it needs to stop because, like, honestly, it's gonna just take over the whole show, dude. Li, move on from DJ LeMahieu. Honestly, there's far bigger fish to fry.
Yes.
You want to look at some of these issues that we have right now? Let's start with Clay Holmes. Guy can't get that guy out. Let's start with that. Aaron Hicks is 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. He's batting 130. His OPS is 300, which is like a third of what it should be. That's just to start with. Josh Donaldson sucks. Let's start with that, right? Let's look at the issues rather than making up an issue that doesn't exist. DJ LeMahieu isn't an issue. Case closed. Next topic.
Exactly. Good point, Donald. Let's see. Blah, 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 whatever. I have the Clay Holmes clip, by the way.
Warm up of your picture. Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Look at
Garrett
Garrett
Cole.
Cole.
Center field. That
Next
ball
game.
is going to drop and it's going to go all the way to the wall. Renfro will go to second. It's a leadoff double.
That's the game.
I fucking told you about Clay Holmes how many fucking times do I have to fucking tell you about this fucker?
Essentially what it is. I mean, I know you, Donald, you said on Friday you took a break from the Yankees because of what happened on Thursday, and I'll blame you. But were you just like not surprised when you saw the Clay Holmes basically blow it up? And it's not even just Clay Holmes. Why would you put him in the 8th inning?
Well, here's where I'm at with Clay Holmes is just because like we can't trust him, man. He's got the stuff. There's no question he's got the stuff. When he's on, he's got the stuff. But you need a closer who you can rely on to get out sufficiently. And if he doesn't have his A stuff, can find his B stuff and get out of the inning without blowing the actual game. That's what you want as a closer. It's not that much to ask, and there's other teams that seem to do it okay, right? It's not necessarily who has the most unbelievable blowaway stuff, because if you look at our oldest Chapman, he could throw 105 miles an hour. But if he was not pitching well, then you'd still lose the game. So, like, you can't rely on that. So this is the situation we've got Clay Holmes. He's got elite stuff, but the problem is his stuff snowballs. And it could be a case where he could go as far as 2 outs with 1 strike to go to get out of the game, and he'll completely lose it. You'll hit a batter, then you'll start walking a batter, and then it snowballs and snowballs and snowballs and snowballs, and game over. And you can't rely on that because he can't seem to get out of the situation when it's going wrong. And I've noticed this multiple times now. It happened all the second half of last year. One of them was the game I went to. It was against the Royals, where we had a comfortable lead in the 9th inning. It was a snooze fest, very comfortable, and he found a way to blow it from a situation where it was almost impossible to blow it, and he found a way to do it. And it was the same with against the Reds. Remember the Reds game, where again we were comfortably ahead, and then he found a way of blowing that. We started hitting batter after batter after batter. Like, this is a thing with him, man. And now we're going to this year, and he's only been good for half his outings so far. That's if you're kind. I think probably actually been bad for the majority of his outings. So you can't rely on that, man. If his sinker ain't sinking, if his slider ain't sliding, it's game over. And I'm sorry, you can't rely on that as a closer. So he should be an 8th inning or 7th or 8th inning guy, but you need a 9th inning guy that you can trust. I think it's Wandy Peralta, but the problem is, as Rob pointed out in Pinstripe Chronicles, he's our only lefty. But that's on Brian Cashman for not bringing in another lefty in the bullpen. Like, you do need another lefty in the bullpen, but Wandy Peralta, I think, is the most efficient guy. Another guy would be Ron Marinaccio, but I'm not sure, because he can pitch multiple innings. I don't think that's your answer. I think it's Wandy Peralta, but you really need to get a lefty in there. That's why I was shouting from the rooftops to get Andrew Chafin all off season. And all you need to do is not pick up IKF's contract and then use that money to go and bring Andrew Chafin, and you're a much better team.
And what did they do?
They stood pat after Rodon.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone of us criticized it.
They thought it'd be a better option to let IKF become an outfielder.
Well, the thing with Clay Holmes, I've noticed, even in the games he wins, he gets himself to a lot of trouble, man. Lot of unnecessary walks he gives up to. So, yeah.
Also, John, I hate Brad Marchand.
You guys are down 2-0.
Jeff says, "What's good, guys? Love your info on the podcast. Are you guys happy with Bader? Looking pretty good so far. Cards are just trash to watch. The Cards, meaning those Cardinals, are 7-9. Look at him. Yep, the too easy again. It was like, what was it? The bottom of the 9th, and he's lucky. Ahmed Rosario swung at 2 bad pitches. Like, I'm like, here we go, another Clay Holmes disaster. And I get it, like you could kind of like deviate and say, what is this?
I don't know if you can see it. It says Andrew Chafin. That's all I got.
That's the one.
Yes, Andrew Chafin.
Neat handwriting, buddy.
So much with it. Also, are we going
I
to
just
talk about
downloaded the whiteboard.
Does
I
anybody
love
want to
that.
talk about what happened when the Yankees let Aroldis Chapman go to the Royals? Are we not going to touch that?
Here's the thing with that, Brian, is he's having real good success over there, but I didn't care for him on the team. Like,
No, I don't care about it, man. He has to go.
That's
I'm just
different,
telling you,
Brian.
in 6 games played, he still got a 0 ERA with 12 strikeouts and a save.
And
We never should have picked up.
And he magically all of a sudden is throwing 103.5 again.
And in June and July, that ERA will become 5.87.
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand how in the world he started so hot to the point where he's all of a sudden hitting 103, 104 on the radar.
Brian, let's not forget
Okay.
2 years ago, I think it was up to like June, he had a zero ERA. Or up till about June, and then he completely fell off a cliff to the point where he had to sit almost all of August. Right? Do you remember that? Like that was only 2 years ago.
I just
I'd
cannot
say
believe
that
it
that's
because
a
it
bad
reminds me of Tampa
comparison.
Bay. Tampa Bay, this team right here would do the same thing and let guys go who they felt weren't performing, even the veterans. They go to other teams and they get successful. I'll give you one name that's iconic, Steve Young. We had him his first 2 years as quarterback for the Bucks.
Yeah,
We sent him
it's
to the
apples and
49ers.
pears, man. I'm sorry. You can't
I
compare
agree with Donald.
baseball
It's
and
like
football.
that's because Aroldis Chapman is like trash. He was trash with us. We wanted him gone. If Zach Britton went to the Mets and started performing, I'm like, okay, good for him. He did absolute dog crap with us. Now, if we're talking about a situation, for instance, I don't know. Let's just take Miguel Andujar, for example. Let's just say he's not, but he becomes a premier starter in Pittsburgh. We know the Yankees ruined him because that's their forte. They love ruining these guys. So it's kind of apples and oranges. I get your point, but I think it needs to be on a different player. So maybe when Peraza is ruined, not that I want it to happen, but if Peraza is ruined, they don't trade him for a top arm or a top outfielder or this, that, and the other thing. He will be traded for chump change, kind of like a Clayton Beater was traded for Joey Gallo, or this guy was traded for this guy. But
and it's the same thing as Joey Gallo. If Joey Gallo in Minnesota suddenly has an incredible year, I actually don't care. I really don't care. It doesn't mean that just because it hasn't worked out in New York, and I don't think it worked out for Chapman in New York. There's certain things with Chapman. You could look at the Cubs, for instance. I think Madden used the hell out of him in order to win the World Series, and he's never come back the same. Burnt out his arm. But another thing with Chapman is he's a thrower, not a pitcher. Like he can throw hard, but he's not got the like Garrett Cole has, Nasty Nestor has, or Mariano Rivera or Andrew Miller, like really good pitchers have. He doesn't have it up there. He's just a dude.
Exactly. Shouts to Tudo for the $4.99 super chat. Massive salutes and respect to Donnie, to Alex Donnie, Luca Donnie, and all diehard Giants fans in the building. Greetings from our entire club in Italy.
Greetings
Thank
to
you,
you
Tudo,
guys.
for the super chat. See Jacob's updating us with the score. If I'm Spencer,
Matthew Kachuk.
I'm not even going to entertain this comment because you can't request a trade in the minors, to my knowledge.
They could just trade you. That's
another issue that has been discussed is Holmes' confidence in Boone based on last year in the playoffs. That's a good point, Jacob. Remember when they were questioning, when they started to question, with Game 3 and Boone didn't use him again. You don't have confidence. It just doesn't make any sense. Holmes doesn't have that killer instinct. All of a sudden, he doesn't. All of a sudden, he does not. And going back to the point is just like, okay, I get it. He blew up because he was used in the 8th inning on Friday, and he blew up, and obviously that's the Yankees' own fault. But then again, when he's in the 9th, the Cleveland situation happening against a dog shit offense, So I don't, and I've been kind of fighting with myself for weeks, and I've been debating with the panel as well, mostly Donald and Luca. I don't think Marinaccio, nor do I think Peralta should be the closer, but we got to start honing on some backup options. At least the Yankees do, not myself, because I don't control that type of shit. But I also want to get Donald.
Who would your suggestion be, though?
I'd
My
say
suggestion-
Sergio Romo. I said Sergio Romo.
Oh God, no.
It's-
I'd
Tell him,
probably
you got to retire. You can come right back here. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, I'd probably put myself in the ocean first.
Or
I would
IKF.
say because Marinaccio, yeah, he could pitch multiple. Oh God, what's this?
Hold on.
How about you move the mic?
Wandy Peralta.
I don't know.
This is like
I wouldn't let
Pictionary.
Wandy close. I don't know. I do like Marinaccio. Do I think now's the time to let him try to put him in a closing role? No. But I think he shows a lot of promise, especially for a kid that comes right from Jersey. Another homegrown Yankee kid.
Like, I could see where you're at, Alex, because he's not automatically what you would view as a closer, but we haven't really put ourselves in this situation. We're not going to get a closer from the outside the organization right now. That's just not going to happen. We're right at the very tip of our luxury tax, self-imposed luxury tax, I should say. So at this stage, you have to look from within. I think the best option from within right now is Wandy Peralta, but I'm open to suggestions. But then if we get to the trade deadline and this situation continues where we don't really have a lockdown closer, then you'd maybe trade for one. Maybe the dude from Pittsburgh for one.
David Bednar.
Yeah, he's really good. Anything really. Or what about the dude from the Orioles? He's a freaking monster, man.
Any chance we could probably get Bard?
Daniel Bard?
Yeah.
Is he a free agent or is he still in the Rockies?
I think he's still in the Rockies. That's why I'm saying, is it possible?
Isn't he injured?
Bard's in a tough situation over there. They gave him I think they gave him an extension, but he's been a little off since he came back to start the year. From my knowledge. Let me double check.
I gotta agree with Donald when it comes to the trade deadline. You could trade for Bednar and a trade with Reynolds too. But I'm not going outside the organization right now because look what the Yankees did for depth last year when some of their pitchers were hurt. Shane Green, do you really want that?
Oh.
Yeah, you don't want to go veteran options that are basically past their prime. You got to stick with the inside. You got to I think you have to promote Greg Weisser to a more important role. I think, the question is, do you go closer by committee? It sounds stupid, but do you just okay.
You could do that. I mean, but what I was saying about Bard, I just looked up the numbers. He's still on 15-day IL. He's the player that's not playing right now because of quote unquote anxiety.
It's an interesting one.
Yeah, he's on 15-day because of some anxiety issues he's having.
That's not gonna. Li brings up a good point. That's not gonna work in New York. You saw Joey Gallo with anxiety and all these different things. I'm not gonna test that. I'm not gonna test that.
Here's a crazy one from left field. Do you know who's actually got the best closer stuff? Severino.
Somebody mentioned that. Somebody mentioned that on Twitter.
Like he's got the most elite stuff that you could have, and you've seen him in the bullpen, and he's been elite in the bullpen. You know he could do it, and also because of his injury history.
Yeah, he'd be only pitching so many games.
Yeah, maybe he'd be better off in the relief role because I don't think you can rely on him to pitch every 5 days. It's a left field option. You know how good he is as a starter. It's not to say that he isn't a great starter. I'm just thinking outside the box because you do want someone that you can trust. And I think we can definitely trust him.
It's not. Go ahead, John. I'm sorry.
You could trust him, but you also have to trust that your other starters are going to pick it up. Like you have to trust Brito, you have to trust Herman. You're going to have to trust Rodon in his health. So that's the only other issue.
I'm going to also agree with something that Jacob said. He mentioned a couple relief names. I really like the idea of David Bednar from Pittsburgh. He's been
That's what
really
we were just talking about 5 minutes ago. Were you asleep 5 minutes ago, man? Like, were you like?
Was I?
That's what we were just We're bringing up for 5 minutes.
We just
I'm sorry, I was probably freaking out because Florida just got back in the game.
So that's a phase out then. So the over
that will count. That will count.
He's done it again. This is unbelievable.
Donald, we made a bet.
Legal.
Donald, we made a bet. Donald, we made a bet before the at the beginning of the podcast. It was over under 2 outs for Brian, 2.5. We picked the over. So far, it's over.
That's one.
Brian gets far too comfortable, man. You are a guest. It would be intrinsic on our guest to be aware of what's going on around him.
I said it. I'm gonna put on a shirt, Brian's confused face, and say, "What happened?" Something along those lines.
Where am I?
Where am I?
I was gonna say, in regards to Severino becoming a closer, it's not the first time, and like an ace kind of guy like Severino. Now he's not. He's not.
Chapman
no
started
longer
out as a
No,
starter.
no, I know it's like no longer an ace, but obviously a starting pitcher very much so. Like John Smoltz was a closer for a time, so you can do that. You can make it happen.
Yeah. Donald, he is more focused on them losing the Bruins right now. As I said, we're gonna make a shirt. We're gonna make a shirt. But
what happened?
Yeah. That's funny. That's funny.
Listen, I really want Florida to at least take 1 or 2 games in this series, so I'm hyped.
One of your 9 teams?
One
of your 9 teams.
I think it just
9
grew to like
teams.
37.
One team in every sport. Come on now.
Oh, come on. You go about 900, man.
He's gonna start making up leagues just to create new teams.
The AFL, the XFL.
Wait. I'm sure there's going to be somebody in the chat who's going to get this. For soccer, at least, this is going to be fair.
Oh, no.
I have to go because I watch a lot of Italian soccer. That's what I watch.
Okay, cool.
My team is Palermo since I was a kid. And the
I
reason
like
why
that.
that's random is that I'm actually a dedicated fan when it comes to that because that team went defunct and dropped down to Series C and then disappeared for years and then just came back and is making their way back to A right now.
Is that your only team?
It's the only team for Italian.
My Italian team is Internazionale Milan. Inter Milan. Inter Milan, yeah. I like Inter Milan.
I'm surprised.
If I had to choose between Inter and AC, I'm definitely choosing AC because they got Zlatan, and I love Zlatan.
I love Zlatan too. Zlatan's cool. I got his book actually. His book is hilarious.
Hey, remember, Brian? Hal Steinbrenner has a stake in AC Milan. Let's not forget that.
Oh,
he does. Hence why me rooting for Inter.
Exactly. I'm gonna be surprised. I know Brian rooted for what was I gonna say? The soccer team for Italy and stuff like that, but I'm surprised he didn't piss Donald off and say Tottenham Hotspur.
Nah, fuck them.
Wait,
fuck
I can't stand Tottenham.
I hate Tottenham. Despite
Same with
them.
Bristol.
Brian
I don't
and Donald
like
agree on
Bristol
something.
Me, Brian, man. Let's go.
Listen, for the English league though, that's only because the team who owns them owns the Bucks, and that's Man U.
Oh, so you Man United fan?
Owners also own the Buccaneers, so that's another.
Well, I guess I'm rooting for the Crankies because I'm an Arsenal fan.
Ooh, okay. I don't have an issue with Arsenal. I got an issue with Man City and Chelsea. That's it.
I go down to London quite a lot and go to Arsenal games. It's a lot of fun.
Liverpool, get the hell out of here.
Brian, who will you cheer for in the Arena Football League when it comes back in 2020?
Hopefully, the Tampa Bay Storm.
They got
They're coming back.
You could root for the Albany team though. Isn't Antonio Brown like isn't he the owner of the Albany team?
Why root for anything with Antonio Brown?
That's Brian's favorite.
Do they have a New York?
I saw his meltdown live
Albany.
with Luca, so I've lost all respect once that happened.
It's all
no, I'm wanting New York City. Is there a New York City
no.
team?
There's no New York City team.
No,
to my knowledge.
No.
Yeah.
What a save by Lion!
Holy
just
shit.
going to repost what I said earlier. Brian is one of those fans who is always guaranteed a championship because in every sport he has a hat of every single sport.
This is only started because of what happened a few years ago. That's it.
Oh my God!
I've always been a Bucks fan. I've always been a Bulldogs fan. I've always been a Yankee fan, and I've always been a Bucks fan.
And a Diamondbacks fan, and a this fan, and that fan, and whoever's good fan, and
he's gonna.
Yeah.
Okay, that was funny.
Whoever Tom Brady goes to next, fan.
Liar.
No.
He's gonna be supporting like the hot dog eating contest and travel.
Number one fan. No, you're not.
Let him bake.
TB12 forever.
I'm happy for him. That's all I'm saying. I'm happy he's retired. Don't come back.
Yeah, right. If he goes to San Francisco in a couple of years, you'll be right on that bandwagon.
Absolutely not. But I don't have a lot of hate for the 49ers just because they're GM.
Oh, he's already justifying.
Why are you opening the door?
Why is he already doing this?
I just told you. The 49ers, I don't have a lot of hate for only because of John Lynch. That's it. Once John Lynch is gone as GM, What else do I care for the 49ers for?
No, wait.
You'll have like some Brian. You'll have some tie to like the friggin' water boy. All
Let
right?
Brian
Okay.
bake.
Let me throw this in, John. Let me throw this in your hypothetical because you're a Jets fan. All right? Let's say, try to think of a good Jets player. It's going to take me a while.
Revis.
Wayne Corbett, Darrell Revis.
Okay, there you go. I'll take Darrell Revis. Let's say Darrell Revis becomes a consultant or maybe an assistant GM for the Browns.
Okay.
Would you not be watching a little bit of the Browns and hoping to get successful because of Darrell Revis? Would you not?
No.
Why not?
Why do I care about Cleveland?
So no,
It's not about Cleveland. It's about the player who works for them.
Do I wish
to
him
win a chip?
I'm gonna stay on John's side here. Tom Coughlin went to the Jaguars. He was fired wrongfully. Went to the Jaguars, right? Did I root for the Jaguars? No.
Okay, so
Bill Parcells went to the Dolphins
Yeah.
as a front office member. Is like he's vice president of the Browns, or like he has some role over there, or had.
Yeah.
Does that make me root for the Browns?
Are Knicks fans
No.
rooting for?
I'm the same
you're
as
gonna
you,
tell
Alex,
me-
man. Like,
so you're going to tell me,
like-
Alex, that in this case, let's say the Giants weren't in the playoffs and the Jaguars were, and Coughlin was, the guy that was running the team, basically. You wouldn't be partially being like, "Oh, I hope the Jaguars make it. I hope Coughlin."
no, that's different. It's different than partially, and you're just if you don't really have a horse in the race, and you're gonna go for the guy that that doesn't mean that you're rooting for them as a fan. Doesn't mean you buy their jersey. Doesn't mean you buy their hat. It just means like, oh, I hope these guys do well. I hope these. Oh, come on, Brian. Your entire back catalog is hats. Your entire shelf is different hats. So you
are Knicks fans rooting for Landry Fields in Atlanta? No.
Don't bullshit a bullshitter, Brian. Do not bullshit a bullshitter, Brian.
The hats. I am a hat collector.
Yeah,
I am a sports
right.
collector. I collect shit.
Yeah, right.
Brian, don't bullshit the bullshit artist.
I'm not a bullshit artist. I'm just saying, just don't bullshit the bullshitter. And but Alex is right, man, because Tom Coughlin's my guy. I think he's like one of my favorite coaches of all time. I think he's an absolute genius coach. But yeah, when he left, it's not like I started to become a Jaguars fan. It's not how it works. Like when Carmelo Anthony became a Portland Trailblazer, did I suddenly start rooting for the Trailblazers? No, I wanted them to do well with him, but it doesn't mean I start rooting for them.
Great point, Armin.
I'm going to address this. This one's
Good
tough.
point, Armin. Get him on the ropes.
Here's how I'll put it. If a team is a rival and they go to them and they work for them, that's different because you should never ever root for your rival. I'm never rooting for Atlanta. I'll never root for Carolina, and I'll never root for New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
That's how that will work no matter who goes to work there. That's why people in Tampa have an issue with Gerald McCoy. When Gerald McCoy left the Bucs, he went to Carolina right after, and he dissed the Bucs right away. Now all of a sudden, he's trying to be friendly with Bucs fans again, and he wanted to retire Buck, and the Bucs said no. And the fans were like, we don't care because you disrespected us and the fan base. And then you went to another team, and you said, this team's built to win a Super Bowl. You're not. Right after we just got Brady.
How much you want to bet he's got Gerald McCoy's jersey?
I don't. I don't. Even from when he was drafted, I don't have one.
All right, fair enough.
Oh, well, that's fine then. But you know what's really good? Brian's awake. At least he knows what we're talking about.
Oh, my God.
Brian's sleepy emoji might have to be the next one. Might have to be the next custom. I know, obviously, Donald got in here late. Any more topics you want to bring up about the Yankees? What's this? Let Donald.
Let Donald cook. Yeah.
I have tears coming.
It's always a show when Brian's on.
This whiteboard will be a staple of the podcast now. I downloaded my iPad. Now it's going to be a staple.
All right.
I like it a lot. I'm a big fan.
Yes. But any more thoughts you wanted to bring up, Donald? I know you came in late, Yankee related.
Well, if you got talked about anything prior to my coming here,
we did a little bit, but just like anything, because we touched on obviously the Stanton stuff a tad. We went over the bullpen. I know obviously you're not crazy about Johnny Brito after the start he made. Thank you, Brian, for jinxing that, by the way.
Listen, okay, we're on a trend. We're just butchering everything of me today. Okay, fine. I'm the target. Let's keep going.
It's literally in a text, but are you?
Honestly, we should talk about that at some point. The jinxing abilities I've had recently, just unbelievable.
He helped
including
me
your
out.
own takes.
My own takes even got jinxed. DPOY just got
Ryan
announced
Brown.
today for Jaren Jackson Jr. And I've been saying forever that Brooke Lopez should win. Brooke Lopez deserves it. And I kind of jinxed my own guy. And there's just been a collection of things that everybody knows. Everybody here on the panel knows about it. Every single thing I've said.
Baker Mayfield.
Can I revert back to the whole Stanton thing? Like, I feel in my eyes like your body goes by a certain rhythm. Like obviously the Yankees, we've said it on multiple times in this podcast, the Yankees don't believe in hot and cold. They'll be like, okay, you'll play 3 games. It doesn't matter if you're hot or cold, you're sitting. But it's like your body gets used to a certain rhythm. Maybe he was injury prone with the Marlins too. So you can add that in if you want. You can add in that Stan has, maybe he hasn't changed his bodily workouts since being injury prone. Judge he's doing more yoga. But it's just like the Yankees don't believe in bodily rhythm. All they believe is numbers. They don't believe in feel, and all those different things that to deal with the actual body. There's like what science supports what they're doing. I'd like to know.
Well, that's right. It's not like a computer game where you gain life by sitting 24 hours. I mean, you don't know that. Sometimes sitting up, sitting down again, standing up, sitting down again actually affects your muscles in a negative way rather than a positive way. Sometimes it's really good for them to play every single day and get your body ready and adjusted for the long haul. And I think there's some credence to that, man. I think other teams tend to play their guys more, and the Yankees kind of wrap them up in cotton wool, and then they still end up getting hurt. So clearly there's more to this than just blaming Stanton and his injury history. There's definitely more to it than that. And I think the Yankees have something to do with it. It's too easy just to let them off, because if Stanton was an isolated incident, then you go, okay, it's Stanton. But it's everyone, man. The most of the pen, like 3 guys in our starting rotation, guys in our lineup, they'll get hurt. It's clearly not just Stanton.
My mom always says this when she talks about people up there in age, but this applies to stand-in ball players. A body in motion stays in motion.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's a great point. Great word point.
Eric says, "Hey, Alex and Luca, what's going on?" Eric, Li, I was talking at the MLY News TV event with a good friend of mine. Well, actually, a good friend of Pete's, Alex Filipone. He's talking about the same guy you're talking about, Sasaki. Jacob says, Nick, someone from Empire Sports Media suggested that Chaparro or Dunham should get called up for Stanton's injury.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think Chaparro's on the 40-man. I think we'd have to make a move to get him on the
40-man, so you are correct.
Yeah, you need to get him on the 40-man.
And I don't think they'll do that, to be honest. I mean, what's funny is I was literally doing a monologue for sports broadcasting today, and I was talking about the Hicks stuff, and I brought up Elijah Dunham. I just want to make sure I have the right stats with me. Okay. Apparently, Chaparro already has 6 home runs.
Yeah, he's got 6 home runs and 9 RBIs.
I don't like the average too much, but he does strive for high average, so I respect that game out of him. But I don't think so. I don't think they're gonna. He, in my personal opinion, Jacob, he is gonna be like Chris Gittens. Now, obviously, some people may remember him. Some people, this is like about 2-3 years ago. He's not really. Chaparro's not regarded as a high prospect. The Yankees don't think that highly of him. He had a great spring training, by far, one of the best. But at the same time, he's not highly regarded. He's a DH. He can't play first. Like, his defense is not good. Third base was his original position. So, I mean,
but he's only like 23, right? He's only like
23.
Right. Well, Chris Gittens is a little bit older than that. Wasn't he when we gave him a try?
I'll check.
Yeah, he was probably like 25, maybe
27, something like that. I think he's still got a little bit of something to him. I think you give him a try. Truth is, he's better than Aaron Hicks. I can guarantee you he's better than Aaron Hicks.
I'm better than Aaron Hicks.
Well, of course. And that's why it doesn't make any sense not to move on from Hicks and give this guy a chance. You go with... See, this is the thing that I want to touch on with the Yankees is Brian Cashman's still stuck in an era where he thinks that he can, recycle retreads that are just past it. And rest of baseball have moved on, man. Rest of baseball has moved on to the younger people, younger players that they can develop and they can get the most out of. That's the way to go. That's where baseball's going. You look at the Braves, you look at the Astros, you look at the Rays, you look at these teams that are beholden to analytics, but the reason is they use the analytics smartly, and they're like, you know what, we can develop such and such a prospect here, and we'll move on from this dude who's 32. He's not going to get any better, and that's the thing that Brian Cashman's like, no, Aaron Hicks, Josh Donaldson, oh yeah, baby, even though they've not been good in years, and that's the difference. That is the difference right there. Chaparro, you can call him up, and even if he gives you a couple of home runs, that's more than Aaron Hicks can give you.
Right, and here's the thing too, as well. I was looking at the contract for Aaron Hicks today. Is like, if they're not going to move on from him now, what makes you think they're going to do it next year, or the next year, or the next year? That's the problem.
That's right. Further to Jacob's point, bring up his comment here. Vernon Wells, Jacoby, Matt Carpenter, Brian Roberts. You can add Holiday. You can add
Chris Carter.
Chris Carter. Holy crap, Chris Carter. That's the thing with Brian Cashman, man. He wants to bring back. He wants to try and recycle guys that are just done. They're past it.
Encarnacion.
Yes, it's his thing. I don't know why he's not moved on from that obsession. But the funny thing is, occasionally he does move on from it, and you've even seen it this year. How good is Franchi Cordero? No one would have expected him to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That was a smart pickup. That's an example of a high upside dude that other teams maybe haven't been able to get the most out of, and the Yankees are getting the most out of him. So that's the way you should go, man. Go with the younger that you can develop for a tenth of the cost.
And for long term. Hopefully, in the near future, we have a Martian being installed with Judge and Stanton on some load management program where you just try to have him healthy for October and have him live up with the deal.
I don't know. What I've always said this. I'm sorry to interrupt. The Yankees, how they run their kind of things, it reminds me of a lot of load management in the NBA. It just gives me that kind of horror.
What is the harm to have on these kids getting called up and being around Judge, Rizzo, DJ, and learning at the major league level? There's no harm, but they want the manipulation of service time and all these different things. Yeah, Carpenter was a good find. I will give Cashman that. Not going to address this one because we already know that this is complete nonsense. Look at the Rays; they move on from veterans and find. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they're in first place this year. I mean, we could be. The problem is also as well is these bullpen decisions and these just punt lineups. It's not so, and I get it. Listen, we criticize the team. We kind of go ahead and say, okay, well, this team is good in this area, whatever. And there's one exception. You can literally say 16 games into the season where you could criticize the team, but you're always going to have those, fans that kind of homer or whatnot, is if you've been seeing the same fucking thing for the past few years. Aaron Hicks, the bad management by Aaron Boone and bringing in, Clay Holmes in the eighth or this, that, and the other thing. I mean, he literally did that last year when we had the Mets stream. We literally did that, and then wanted to give the Starling Marte.
I was at that game. I remember.
So, fuck off!
Wait,
nobody threw the mic.
Hold on. Yep.
Fuck off!
It comes in handy.
Thing is with the Yankees, right? It's really frustrating. Is you look at their team and they're about maybe two pieces away from being a legit lock-in World Series contender, right? And all it required was moving on from one of Hicks and Donaldson and using that money to bring in Andrew Chafin and maybe an outfielder and maybe an option to help out the back end of your rotation, right? It didn't even require any stars. Just move some of that terrible money and bring in some smarter money. And this team would be ready to rock and roll. That's the thing. So yeah, there's an element of criticism, of course, but by and large, this is a really good team. But they're still about two pieces away, I would say. I bet they need a closer, probably do with an outfielder that you can trust to every play. But even we can still get away with not having an outfielder because I'm really happy with Ozzy and I'm really happy with Frenchie. So we don't necessarily need an outfielder, but we need to move on from some of the deadwood and bring in a decent reliever. And I think this team's ready to rock and roll. I really like this team. And I don't think Boone's managed that badly this year. I think he's doing the best he can under a weird roster. But he has made his usual screw ups. But it's kind of part and parcel with Boone. I'm just trying to give him a little bit of credit, and by and large, it's not been that awful. His management, he's made some mistakes, but that's just Boone. But it's not been bad. It's not been a bad start to the year at all. Apart from that awful game where they looked like they were going to lose like 35-0. That was just a joke, and so I gave myself 48 hours away from the Yankees because of that. I was pissed.
I was so afraid that we were going to get no hit again. I literally was. I'm like, we're going to get no hit again. It's either flashbacks of that, and unfortunately I have the grace of being at those two games, either at the no hitter or when they lost 19-5 to Cleveland. I was at both of those games, so I've had my fair share of trauma. Difference is, those were 1-year deal. Hicks is 7 years. Has to be the worst New York contract ever. No. There's a couple more you could add to that list. Bobby Bonilla, Kenny Galladay, Jacoby Ellsbury.
With the Reds.
Trumaine Johnson.
Javier Vasquez.
Yeah, Javi Vasquez. I mean, there's
Kayagawa, Carl Pavano. You could even go with the most recent extension for Aroldis Chapman. That extra 3 years was an absolute killer for us.
Bloody awful.
Jakeem Noah.
They're hitting their draft picks, and they're good internationally. Yanks don't do that well. They choose not to. Raves moved on from Evan Longoria at 33. Why can't they do it? I'm not going to answer. No. The second half of that comment, I'm not entertaining it.
Yeah, don't even entertain it. I mean, you know what? I will entertain it. I'll entertain for a second because I've already screamed at him once. Let me just add this in here, okay?
Okay.
Let Brian cook.
I don't care what you want to say about the past 2 or 3 years with DJ. He's off to a great start this year. He's one of the top members of the team when it comes to the average, to the on base, to the slugging. He's getting the hits. He's contributing. He's scoring. He's playing good defense at 35 years old. You do not make that decision and take it seriously until you reach about 37. He's got at least 2 good years left if he stays healthy. That's it. In those 2 years, you're telling me that Peraza or somebody else won't be ready to come into the infield that you can grab to fill in his spot when he's ready to go? I mean, the logic behind that's kind of crazy to me for him to think that made sense. I don't get it. I mean, if you want to talk Stanton I can make more of a case for because he's a strong power hitter, but he's always hurt. There hasn't been a season where he's been completely healthy all the way through since he joined the Yankees. There hasn't been a season. If you look back, he's at least missed 30 games every season since he's been with the Yankees. At least. That I can make more of a case for. And as for the Hicks contract you guys are talking about, we don't have a club option on him until 2026. But there is not a no-trade clause, so he can be traded. But he is making a lot of money for a guy that shouldn't be. This dude's salary this year adjusted is almost $11 million to sit on the bench.
Yeah, Jacob. It might be in our best moments as well, but it's pretty memorable. You just look up Yankees, Mets, Big Blue in the Bronx, and then
wait. I'm gonna keep going here. He kept going. He thought it was okay to keep going. You have Peraza. Why can't he start? Because he's not ready. He's not ready. He came up with so many.
Not even that. We're jam packed. That's the problem. I'm gonna cut this off here because I think we've been going at this too long. Here's the issue. All right. I get Li. This is the last thing I'm going to say. Li, I get your point. Get your point about Peraza. I get it. I wanted him to make the roster at spring training. The problem is right now with the Yankees is that they have a log jam in the infield. They have too many fucking infielders, okay? They have too many fucking infielders. That's what it is at the end of the day. They're not willing to trade any of them. You know what? At this point in the game, I've accepted that Oswaldo Peraza is not going to be a Yankee much longer. He's going to get either traded, he's going to get ruined like Esteban Florial, your buddy, or something else. Okay, so I think us Yankee fans, maybe I'm overreacting here, but I've just seen this so many fucking times. Oswald Peraza is gonna get ruined. It's gonna get ruined. Let's cut the shit here. We know what to expect from this team. I don't know why you're targeting DJ LeMahieu. That's your own prerogative. Meanwhile, let's not talk about the fact that you want Patrick Corbin for $25 million.
Isn't Patrick Corbin like 40 almost now?
Let's not go down. I will detail that at another time.
Yeah, please do, because
I'm
the
okay.
worst pitcher on the Nationals rotation. Why in the world would anybody trade for that?
I think his philosophy is making him a closer or reliever or something. But I want to say this to end it off.
Get the hell out of here! Come on.
Peraza and LeMahieu can coexist. That's my final words on this. I'll be back.
Good point.
Yeah, they can coexist. I mean, the thing is, I really do get the sense that like Brian Cashman's whole plan was Volpe, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's given Volpe the path to shortstop, right? And he didn't want to think of another way of getting Peraza involved. It's just too much of a head fuck for him, right? Because he's locked in on Donaldson, and he's still got Gleyber Torres there, who's not totally locked in on, but he still kind of wants to make the most value out of him. And that is where we're at. And the Boone's already stupidly said that he had no future at third base, so it takes him out of that situation. So I'm actually in the camp that they shouldn't have called Peraza up at all for 2 days. Like that's a completely mistreatment of him, man. Might as well just keep him there and wait and till there's an actual opportunity for him to play most days, because otherwise, if he's just going to be a Scranton shuttle bus dude, it's going to affect his confidence. Unless you're a robot, it's going to affect your confidence. How is it going to be good for you to come up for 2 days, not play, and then be sent back down again? Like, you're not learning anything like that.
Clint Frazier, we learned that from Clint
exactly.
Frazier.
That's what I'm saying, man. They did it to Andujar, they did it to Clint Frazier, and they've done it to Florial, and none of them are as good a prospect as Peraza.
Let me give you one more, a lesser known, Greg Allen.
That wasn't really a prospect.
He came up for a little bit because we had like 5 injuries during the COVID year.
Yeah, when he was really good.
Play the Red Sox when they brought up basically the Rail Riders to play the Red Sox, and we won 9-1 in that game. I watched a lot of talent play, and Allen looked good in that game.
But I mean, it's just so weird with the Yankees, right? Because we've heard Angry John's rants on Easy Out Escobar and the fact that they didn't call up Brett Beatty till like a few days ago, right? Yesterday to be exact. I don't respect the fact that they waited a while, because Beatty I feel like could have been on the roster for the Mets. So okay, at least they called him up. But in this situation, I mean, it's kind of the same, but it's kind of different. If Beatty starts, it's a different story. Peraza has no place on the Yankees right now. Whether you like him or not, he has no place. No place at all, because of the logjam of the infielders. And wouldn't you want one of your top prospects starting? Let's be complete. All right. I'm gonna use a Google term. Let's be completely transparent. Was Gary Sanchez starting when he came up? Yeah, he was. Was Tyler Austin starting? Yeah, kind of, because Mark Teixeira was going through his retirement phase. My favorite Yankee, by the way. Aaron Judge was obviously starting. Luis Severino was doing his thing. So again,
Cortez is another one. Cortez, we pulled. Didn't we not pull him up from the minors and tell him to start? And he started well, and he's never left the rotation since.
That was more of 2021, because he actually went through a road jam of teams. Like, he was a Yankee, and then he was like a Oriole, and then he was a Mariner, and then he came back, and then all of a sudden he's good now. So,
but was that in the minor system or in the majors?
No, he was like a legit terrible pitcher in the majors before he came back to the Yankees. But no, it goes on a similar line of thinking. I'm okay with Cash making these moves. He has the balls to admit that he's wrong and cut these guys when they become ineffective, instead of just letting them continue to play either past their prime. Yep. They better not get no hit in September when I go to the NYY News TV event. That's right. The next event will be in September, and I will be there. But both were bad deals at the time. I'll give you Kagawa. Some of the deals were short, 6 or 7 years. I'm used to LI stuff. I don't know if DJ should. It's still got a good glove, so I don't know that it would kind of.
DJ should be saved for a power hitter. Power hitter who has injury concerns sometimes if he gets too much action. That's what that should be saved for. Hence why Stanton is DH.
Likelihood. of someone trading for Hicks is the likelihood of you only rooting for
Yeah,
one
that
team.
was funny. That was funny.
We got to star that one.
That was pretty good.
That was pretty
That was
good.
pretty good. I gotta give him that. That was pretty good. Also, Armand mentioned he mentioned that a correction for me because I didn't know much about Corbin, but he's not near 40. He's 33. But it should also be known that Corbin hasn't pitched below or even close to a 3 ERA since 2020.
As I said, I don't want to entertain that because I've been through that shuffle before. Chance Adams, Justice Sheffield. Yeah, these are very good points. Yeah, Cortez was awful to begin with us. I remember. I hated him. DJ will DH a lot, which they should want to. I mean, you could still kind of do that because if you have Stanton in the outfield, you have Bader, hopefully he comes back healthy, and you have Judge, you could maneuver. And I don't even like the idea. I mean, you could put Stanton in left or do whatever. But yeah, the Baby Bombers, that was a time of its own. It was a time of its own. But any final thoughts on the Yankees before we hit the awards section?
Yeah, we're good.
We're good.
So the awards, I will pass around the panel. Best pitcher and best hitter. Obviously, we do this every week. I'm going to start with best hitter. I wrote this down actually, and I'll shove it in people's face. I don't give a fuck. Let me go with DJ LeMahieu. I'll go with DJ LeMahieu as best hitter and best pitcher. I mean, this is like the third week in a row I've done this. Garrett Cole. Next will be Donald.
I have to agree with you there, man. You make an argument for Volpe because Volpe's been pretty darn good these last couple of games where he's stealing a ton of bases and he's getting on base a little bit better. But really, it's the DJ Mayhew show, man. I would have said Stanton, but Stanton's hurt. So if it wasn't for Stanton getting hurt, I would have gone with Stanton. So with Stanton being hurt, DJ LeMahieu and Garrett Cole.
Brian cracked on his Wi-Fi again, so I don't know if that counts on the record.
That's happened twice now.
I don't know if that counts on the. Well, yeah. Anyway, Luca, your set of awards.
I think I'm going to go LeMahieu for hitting, but you also could argue Aaron Judge. For pitching, you can't pick anyone other than Garrett Cole, in my opinion. He's been the best pitcher in the American League, probably in baseball this year. You can't argue against it.
John?
The Cole train is making me look like a genius with my pick of Cy Young at the beginning of the year. And I'm going to go with Mr. Anthony Rizzo. I think he's been having a fine start to the year.
315. Mm-hmm. And he had 2 home runs in that blowout game, but still, I think that counts.
I know it's garbage time, but still, it's not his fault. They were down 9-0 before they even got to bat. So,
good call.
And I also I know this is like micromanaging, but I know we compliment Brian Cashman for all his minor moves as well. Colin Brewer was a great move, right, guys? Yeah, great move. DFA.
Oh my God.
2 weeks DFA. So, yeah.
It's because he's garbage. Hot shit.
Couldn't do a strike. I could have went out there and threw a strike. I don't care if I would have gotten my ass beat. Would have went out there and threw a strike at least. Because you want to play second base 100% in October. He's had back-to-back season-ending injuries, and Stanton isn't healthy, not putting him in the picture until he's healthy. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be some debate time once we get to October. And we're very early in, so I'm not even going to say whether the Yankees will make the playoffs. I think they will, but they also have to do some catching up. I believe they're in third place, so they're with the Blue Jays, and then they got the Rays on top. But let's see, Ian Hamilton. Oh, he blows too. Yep. Yeah. Ian Hamilton. Yeah. Another idiot. Another dingus. Wonder when Tommy Kahnle's coming back. Probably not anytime soon. My point of DJ DHing, I can't even talk today. It's being misinterpreted. I'm not saying DJ should DH 5 out of 7 games. No, I understand. It's just some load management type of thing because of his injuries. But we'll see what happens come the month of October if we get there. Well, either way, we'll get there, I think. But John, if you want to slip into your Mets before we head to, I think we'll do some NBA after this because I know that's some of the hottest stuff.
That, by the way, Brian, that counts as a zone out because you crapped out twice, so that counts.
So because it's 2 times, we're going to count it.
Yeah, we're counting that. So you're at 2 now. The line is at 2.5.
I got too many people in my house right now using the internet, but I get it. And you guys just did Yankee awards, right? You guys just did
Yeah,
it?
yes. So,
Yeah.
all right. Best
That
pitcher.
doesn't count as a zone out if I knew what you were talking about.
Oh,
No,
okay.
no.
Okay, Brian. Okay.
Patino Wi-Fi. Come
See,
on.
I'll give.
You're
I'll
all
give,
night, folks.
Here, see, before I go to Brian for his awards, best pitcher and best hitter, by the way, Donald obviously was late due to Wi-Fi issues. He hasn't crapped out once.
It's that Spectrum Wi-Fi, man. It's that Spectrum Wi-Fi.
Sucks.
Dude.
But best pitcher and best hitter, Brian.
Best pitcher, you guys already know out the gate. I'm going to say Garrett Cole. Pretty sure. Just dominant starter this past series. In terms of hitter, that one seems a little tougher for me because, again, I haven't been keeping as much of track for this series because of work. But I would say Rizzo definitely did well, I think, to start the series. Besides that, I probably would give a little bit of credit to this really wasn't a strong hitting series. Not at all.
It wasn't.
So I think I'm going to probably say Rizzo would be one of them. And if I'm going to go with – I'm looking through all the games right now. I'm trying to figure out what I would say. But, I mean, if I'm going to choose, I'm just going to stick with Rizzo. I'll say Riz.
I just would like to add, for no particular reason in context, because I saw this on Twitter, by the way, the amount of past their primes that have heated up and then cold. Jason Hayward to begin the season with the Dodgers, and followed up right now with Andrew McCutchen, who's hitting 307. So just wanted to add that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Brian crapped out because all the teams he cheers for are using his Wi-Fi. that was
clever.
That should be starred.
That's
That should be
another
starred.
one. You guys have some elite comments tonight. Ooh, we're already at 15. Let's get to 20.
Every time I'm on here, there's always great comments against me. There always is. There's always
Because it's you.
Why not?
What is that? What does that tell you, Brian?
target.
What does that tell you?
Genius.
Oh my gosh.
Me, John, and Luca were literally talking about this today, Wampag. Why are the Rangers and Knicks on the same at the same time tomorrow?
Because the schedule makers, don't know what the fuck they're doing.
I'm also going to add that they said about the DeGrom thing, they said it was wrist soreness. I know somebody mentioned it earlier.
General
They're doing
soreness.
that precaution. They don't know how bad it is. They think they want to just be safe with it. If it's bad, he's going to be missing a good amount of time.
Let's see. Anyone shocked by that? No.
No. What?
Especially not John.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't happen. Him?
Got a question from Jacob, but the Rangers home are away tomorrow.
Away.
Yeah,
We'll
they're both
get
on
to
the.
that a
That's
little
right.
bit.
They're both on the road. Scheduling still doesn't make any sense, though.
Yeah.
And then
I'd
there's a
also
Billy-
like to add that in a stunner, ever since that series against the Blue Jays, looks like the Rays are falling down to earth. They just lost to the Reds today, 8-1.
Ew.
They lost to Cincinnati 8-1 today.
Ew. Oh my God. Pick another
Shocker.
team to lose to.
A shocker.
The Reds are 6-9. Nice. What was I gonna say? And also, I think there's a Billy Joel concert intertwined as well.
Yeah, that got rescheduled.
Got rescheduled.
Yep.
They were scheduled because of the series.
The Rangers series, I think.
Either way, it's still a clusterfuck.
I'll be going to that game on Saturday night. So, fuck it.
Now, why wouldn't they consider, I don't know, make Billy Joel a halftime performance? Or an intermission performance, maybe?
Because he's not getting the
got a
money
whole
probably
concert.
directly.
Brian, the concert doesn't take 15 minutes.
I don't know. I'm just thinking.
You think Billy Joel's gonna be there for 15 minutes? No.
I know. It would be cool though, would it not?
Bill, what are you going to go see?
Intermission is
Billy
a
Joel on
performance.
ice? Is he playing the piano?
He's gonna drive. He's gonna
gonna
drive the
skate around the
Zamboni
ice
and
with the
sing.
Zamboni bullet
In
everywhere
the
he
town
goes.
known as Wheeling, West Virginia.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
What is
This
it?
is the
Go around the ice. Is
Great.
he Santa Claus?
You just put him out there with the piano, Zamboni pulling him, and she's trying to sing Uptown Girl.
You're the one who mentioned it, Brian.
I wasn't thinking.
Let him bake,
Let
guys.
him
I
bake.
let him
wasn't
bake.
thinking like usual. Oh my gosh.
You were thinking like usual, actually.
Billy
Like,
Joel's
why
gonna,
so fun?
if Billy Joel's on ice, he's gonna have a meltdown like he did in Moscow that one time.
Brian
I'm
has
trying to
lost
do
it.
my show for Christ's sake.
Brian has lost it.
Guns
Brian-
N' Roses do that, man. Sometimes they just like play one song and go, "Yeah, fuck this. I don't like this crowd," and then leave.
That'll be Brian's best concert ever.
Kind of relating to what Donald said. I remember I was watching like a montage of like people like quitting concerts and shit. I remember
Yeah.
Axl Rose was like, "Security sucks. I'm out of here."
That's right. He did. And I know there was one time where Creed.
Yeah.
The lead singer turned up drunk out of his fucking ass, mumbled some lyrics, got it all wrong, and then like passed out.
Axl Rose said, in quote,
That's
"Thanks to the
hysterical.
lame ass security, I'm going home." And I think Nickelback did that same shit too.
That's funny.
And there was one time, this has happened in Scotland actually. I was supposed to go to this concert, but I gave the ticket away. But Puddle of Mud, if you ever remember that band,
Yes.
Puddle of Mud were supporting Korn, right? And there's Puddle of Mud had this song called "She Fucking Hates Me." She fucking hates me. Right? Well, in Scotland, everyone chanted, "We fucking hate you!" Right? It's a Puddle of Mud,
That's
right?
terrible.
And they got bid, and then we started bottling them, and so he lasted one song.
That's great.
That's
That's
interesting. But two other ones before I get to was it Jacob and Armand's comment. These are both like I've been told about one and I watched another where a fan came on the stage in 1981 when the Stones were playing, and like there were balloons falling. I don't know if you guys ever seen that live performance where Keith Richards just takes off his guitar, starts trying to get the guy with his guitar, and then the whole like song loses rhythm, but it gets back. And then I remember there was another one. I think it was like the late 60s where Pink Floyd's playing, and someone threw a beer bottle at the bass player, Roger Waters, and he beat the shit out of somebody with his guitar.
Yeah.
That's badass.
So
badass.
Wow.
Jeffrey Springs is out for a minimum 2 months. Big loss for Tampa.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
That's a big deal. That's a big deal.
Wow. Billy Joel has the same amount of pianos as Brian.
I hope that's not many.
Tonight.
Really hope that's not many.
Jesus. You got a house full of pianos, that means.
He must.
Oh, man.
But before we dip into the NBA, if you want to touch on your Mets, John.
Gladly. We actually have a game in about 17 minutes against the LA Dodgers. I already know they're going to get their ass handed them tonight. The pitching matchup is David Peterson against Dustin May. I'm not even going to get into that. That's going to be a disaster. But let's start with some positive news. As Alex mentioned, Brett Beatty is up. We called up our probably our top prospect this year. You want to debate him or Alvarez? Go ahead. I don't care. Beatty's now starting tonight. Let me give you some of the why Brett Beatty should be up. First off, he had an excellent spring training. I've been saying that for God knows how fucking long. And he's not the only prospect that's doing good. There's others like Mauricio and Vientos that have been really had a really hot start to Syracuse. But, Billy and Epler decided not to put him up at the beginning, so Beatty had to prove him wrong. Here's how well Beatty's done in AAA. He's gone 14 for 35 with 5 homers, and the average exit velocity off the bat is 100 miles per hour. The dude is fucking raking down there. And for some reason, we decided to start Easy Out Escobar, who may have like 5 hits all season long because, again, he's an easy fucking out. He's terrible offensively. He can't hit for power. He can't hit for shit. But we still played him anyway. So, nevertheless, Brett Beatty is back here. Now, I know last year he had the stint last year where he struggled a little bit, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. Prospects do struggle. It happens. He's a kid. Here's what and I'll read Armin's comment here. Thank God Epler got his head out of his ass and decided to call it Beatty. Yes, because you know what, Brad? You can go just like that, all right? You throwing shots at me. Anywho, no, I'm very happy that Beatty's getting the chance to play. I think this kid is probably our best prospect, in my opinion, if you ask me. He's got a natural swing, and it's time for him to show up. He's 23 years old. It's time for him to get his starting moment at third base, and let's see how he does. I'll be fair, like I'm fair of all players. Yeah, I'll love you if you play well. Great. If not, I'll rip into you. But I'll give him like some leniency. He's a kid. I give the kids some leniency. Next up, besides Brett Beatty, the amazing news. How about the bullpen actually coming through for this team? I thought this is the weak point of the team. David Robertson has been fucking excellent, man. Now I know why you guys loved him a lot as a Yankee. Man, has he been good. I mean, I think he's been our best pitcher all season long so far, starter and reliever. I know you really can't compare them, but David Robertson has been amazing. He still hasn't given up a run yet, so that's good. He threw 4 1/3 innings last week. Had 5 strikeouts. He had 2 saves last week. He also came in against, I think it was the San Diego game in the that third game. He came in I think it was the 8th inning or the 7th inning. I can't remember. I was watching it during class, but he came in and he got some key outs to get out of a jam there. So that's pretty good. And even, Ottavino's doing a bit better. He's kind of been, I've noticed that he's thrown more of his sinker slider combo to the right-handers, but he actually has been throwing a cut fastball to the lefties. So that's something new of him, and I think that's been helping him. And I'll give some credit to Drew Smith in the bullpen. His fastball has been really good this year. I think he's like one of the leaders on the team in like strikeouts per 9. I could just take a quick look at that, but I think it was like hold up. Let me take a quick look because I think hold up. Sorry, I don't have the stat right in front of me, but if my damn computer would like to load this page for some reason. I think it's at like 14.7, if I'm not mistaken. But we're going to take a quick look. Strikeouts per
14.21. 14.21,
yeah,
John.
That's fucking excellent for Smith. So hopefully he's on the rise up. And then we'll get to the offense. I'm not going to really take too much into that series against Oakland. Oakland's a shitty team. I literally say they're
What's their nickname?
The Oakland ass, because they are a literal ass out there. That first game against Friday, we had 17 walks and we scored 17 runs.
That was so
They
bad.
just could not
That was
find the
so
strike
bad.
zone. That was such an embarrassing performance from Oakland. So I'm not going to, I'm happy they swept them. They should have swept them, but I'm not going to go celebrate.
But Jerry Blevins said it was not a good game.
But before I get on the post-game analyst, I understand what Jerry Blevins meant. Dude, we fucking just demolished a team. What do you mean it wasn't exciting to watch? I get it was like a kill real early, but your team wins by a touchdown or more than it, you're going to be happy. So I don't know what the fuck he's complaining about. Okay? Made no sense right there. Anywho, let's go to the offense. Pete Alonso, by the way, since 2019 he came up, he's had 154 homers. How many players have had more since that span?
I know you told me this, 0.
That is correct. 0. The dude is a fucking mammoth. He leads all of MLB with 8 right now. He's made me proud every game because there is not a ballpark that can hold this man. He's got to be one of the top first basemen in the game, at least top 3 in my opinion, because he's just so consistent and he's just you throw him a mistake and he's going to put it 430 plus feet in the seats. So there's him. Francisco Lindor had a very big series. He had a couple extra base hits, couple of homers. He hit the grand slam on Friday that really broke the game open. So kudos to see him starting to heat up. Brandon Nimmo was excellent this series. First off, I think he's like top of the league of walks. So good. He's just a walk machine, an on-base percentage machine. And then you had him make some great defensive plays yesterday. I don't know if anyone saw the 2 highlights, but my God, he robbed 2 extra base hits. So, and I remember it was funny. There was something, it was like a stat. I don't remember what year it was, but it was saying like Brandon Nimmo was like a negative defender. Okay. Yeah. And then that shit happened. So Good to see them win and good to see them sweep. I expected that. But in 10 minutes, we're going to see what David Peterson can do tonight because I guarantee you it won't be good. So, nevertheless, let's go, boys. We got the Dodgers this series. It's not going to be easy. The Dodgers are a very good team still. So, and
Best
we're on
pitcher and best hitter.
Best hitter is Pete by far. And the best pitcher, like I said, David Robertson has been a fucking savior. I don't know if anyone else can close games, but David Robertson's been a literal savior.
All right. Luca, if you want to bring us into
I was gonna say, John, how about that fan that got ejected for having the Kodai Senga Ghost K's?
Oh, they took away so Senga pitched Friday. They took away the Ghost K's for some reason. I don't know what the reasoning was. I don't know why they did it. I thought it was fucking ridiculous. Now we're gonna cancel fans for rooting. So here's what I don't understand. Fans get criticized for booing all the time, right? Now because it's in a different ballpark that has like 10 fans, we're gonna criticize them for rooting? What the fuck kind of shit is that? Seriously, what a bunch of Oakland ass they are. Just garbage. What a garbage dump. I hope they move. Not for the fans, but I hope they move because their owner is a piece of shit.
Well said, John.
Well, good analysis. Good analysis.
Thank you.
Shout out to Jeffrey in the chat. Luca, you look like Goose Gossage with the mustache.
Not necessarily. It's not all the way out.
Yeah,
I'm not there yet.
Gotta work here. Donald might have to give you some tips, but you got to work it out to here. And then also Petruzzi sources, Brian has decided to sign a 5-week contract with every NHL playoff team so he can celebrate if they win a trophy. You know, you're on mute. He's on mute.
That's his
He's on mute.
Come on.
I completely. This is getting bad today. The Panthers can't even do anything on a power play. This is ridiculous.
Blame hockey. Blame hockey.
Dude,
It's
how
pissing me off. This shouldn't be this hard to score a goal. Like, come
It
on.
should be hard to turn your mic on.
Hold up. I've had like 4 different sports games on between hockey and basketball and whatnot. How am I able to pay attention? You can't pay attention.
Because you're in a rant. You're ranting. Your mic has to be on. You were just ranting, were you not?
I'm still watching. Like I'm still flipping through channels. I'm getting updates.
Oh my God, whatever.
Brian,
Whatever.
just you lost.
I know I did. So did the Panthers, apparently.
Man fraud.
Let Brian bake, boys. Let Brian
bake. Everyone who's got that emoji,
in that
let
chat.
Brian bake.
He's baking.
Spam it in the chat.
Oh God, I know what he meant.
Hold on, Luca. Post that again. What is this? Yep.
It's the
He just fucking hit the over. I have to contact Sox about that, Jeffrey. I'll let you guys know. Of course, I know we haven't done a show in 2 weeks due to conflicting schedules. Shouts to Pete in the chat. How you doing?
How you doing?
Hey. Oh, hey.
He's watching Brian bake.
Hey.
Yeah, he's watching
yo.
Bake.
Hey.
Brian's in talks with the Reds on a fan contract, so his zone outs should be removed.
Oh
I can't
my
guarantee
God.
that his zone outs would be removed.
What'd you say?
Oh, no.
There's no way that was an accident. Jacob, I think we hit the over.
This is
Ding, ding, ding. We hit.
I'm sorry. This is too funny, man. He doesn't have to erase it. He can just hold one.
This is guys. This is Sesame Street now. Today's show is brought to you by the letter L. Unbelievable.
That's 4. That's 4. So I was right on the over.
If you guys bet on the
You
over,
were bet. Listen, the last time I was on here, we were on the under. Now we're in the over today. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. Whose fault do you think that is?
Proud of that, Brian.
No one.
I know.
It's your own fault.
Do I blame the coffee? I mean, I don't know what to do.
I think there should be a 3-strike rule. 3, what the hell's going on? And he gets kicked out of the chat for 10 minutes.
He might have been distracted by the Zamboni driver on the ice with Billy Joel singing his intermission.
Sing us a song of the piano.
Oh my god.
I'm pretty sure John appreciates the belated
Thank
birthday.
you,
wishes
Hayes
and
and Jeffrey. Thank you.
yeah. I
Oh,
was helping Brian out, but fuck it. Brian is trying to get as many zone outs as the teams he cheers for. He's putting up a record. He's putting up a record right now.
What am I at, 3 or 4?
One of the funnier
What am I
ones
at
we've
right
done in a while, I have to say.
I think it probably has to be 3 or 4 right now.
You're at
If you
4.
want to
over.
count the last one, then that's
So what? Let me ask a question. What's a half zone out?
a half zone out.
A half
It's when his
zone out.
internet craps out, so it happened twice, so that counts as 1.
If you want to count that, then we're either 4 or 5.
Oh, you're past that, man.
You're toast.
You're long
You're
past that.
You're toast.
We should have made a bet on this.
Right now we're looking at 4 or 4.5.
I would believe Jacob more at 4.5 probably.
Brian's
I think that's where I'd be at. It's bad.
Sounds about right.
Sounds about right. It's bad when the chat has to argue. I mean, these times you zoned out.
Because someone have money writing on this. You think I don't know that? I'm kidding.
Oh man.
Come on, man.
Luca, if you want to shift to the NBA, if you got no final remarks.
Oh my god.
If Brian can pay attention.
Brian, we're talking NBA here. This is the NBA playoffs.
National Basketball Association.
It's the orange ball with the hoop.
Luca, write that just to remind him.
God, my
God.
My
man.
I can't.
I think it's an overpay his. I think it's a massive overpay.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that.
We should just make a sports book for the channel for little random things. We should. Over unders on random stuff that'll happen. We really should.
I wonder what the payout would be.
Depends on how many people actually participate in it.
Are you done yet, Picasso?
The National Basketball Association.
Yes.
I better just show it every 5 minutes just to remind him in case
Like,
he's like,
hey, Brian, this is
forgets.
what we're talking about here, okay?
All right, just gonna put it down one more time. Okay.
No, he's gonna do it again.
Okay.
All right. Ball.
Why in the hell are you fighting? You're losing.
All right, Ryan Rage mode. But anyways,
I thought we were gonna put up the screen again. No.
You know what? I'm gonna grab myself a drink because I have to do a toast. Damn it.
Oh. I was like, what are you toasting?
First road playoff win since 1999 in Game 1 to the New York Knicks, pulling off a stunner. Cheers, everybody. I'm going to get the sound effect here.
Cheers.
So, what game should we talk about first? Should we talk about the Knicks game? Should we talk about the Kings game, which was really entertaining? I think we're going to talk about the Knicks game first.
Yeah.
Donald, first thoughts.
Yeah. That's my first thoughts. No, it actually wasn't that much of a surprise. It all kind of was as you expected, man. Our bench is so much better than their bench. They just don't have the depth that we have. And I really thought that Josh Hart was our X factor, and he proved that. So, credit to Julius Randle for getting that last ditch rebound where he fought off Jared Allen. You know, he fought really hard. I was really proud of him. And Jalen Brunson, man, he's Batman. Like, and also like on our podcast, Luca.
Yeah.
And our guest, what was the things that he was bringing up? We were bringing up his depth, or our depth superiority, the fact that we've got an experienced coach over a less experienced coach,
right?
You know, and all those factors, and then the fact that they don't really have anyone that can stop Julius Randle in the paint, and the fact that we've got Josh Hart who can match up pretty well defensively against Donovan Mitchell, and you know, when you put it all together, it's not that much of a surprise. And plus, you know, I mentioned that we're the much better road team. So it kind of worked out as I expected. It was everything that the Knicks needed to win. They did. Right. Nah, obviously, not to. It's still a huge achievement, but this is a good team. and maybe we shouldn't be as shocked anymore. This is a damn good team, and we're showing it.
No, they definitely bring fight. A couple of I actually want to get to Brian real quick, but what up, guys? Crackle Nuts, thank you for joining us in the chat on Saturday night. He was with us for the big game. Donald, y'all also brought up the Jigga pretzel consumption. Jigga Man and Hector will be on tomorrow, and we're bringing back the pretzels, baby. The good luck pretzels. So you'll definitely see a lot of that. But I want to go to Brian. What were your first thoughts on this game?
Oh no!
No,
Unmute the mic.
There is no way he did it. There's no. Now he's doing it on purpose, man.
Dude, I swear to God, I thought it was unmuted.
There's a little pad down there. I don't know what you would call it necessarily. You click unmute so you could talk like I'm talking right now. Anyways, what kind of pretzels? They were just like regular bag of pretzels. It wasn't like actual like an Auntie Anne's pretzel. They were like pretzel chips almost.
I'm never muting my mic again. That's how this is going to work.
Brian, the National Basketball Association.
I know that at least. I know at least that. But let me tell you, I think the Knicks had a good, strong performance. You know, the last 5 minutes were kind of terrifying of the game because they just let the Cavs come back. But he's still laughing.
Yeah, nah, he's inhaling and exhaling.
I think he's disappointed. I think that's disappointed noises.
Of course.
But regardless, you know, like you guys have said, Brunson had a good game. He really did. I think really the big star that we're not talking about is just Josh Hart. Josh Hart had an incredible game. He really came through for the Knicks, proving once again that the Knicks really won that trade they did at the deadline. Paid off dividends for them. And another proven point from this, the big downside, that RJ Barrett contract is going to be a nightmare. It's going to be a nightmare because he proved yesterday why he did not deserve that money at all. I mean, it was very questionable, but I do like one matchup from that game that I think is going to be really big for the Knicks moving forward. Mobley got wrecked by Randall.
Let me pull up the one rebound.
And the fans have talked about one thing, and they all noticed it now, the Cavs fans, is that Mobley has no muscle on him and no strength. And because of that, Randall, who may be smaller than him, can easily body him. Did you guys see what happened at the free throw line?
Mm-hmm. We're going to watch it right now. I don't know why.
Yeah, this. Too strong.
Let me full screen it. At the free throw line, everybody just mute this tab, and we go.
Mobley got wrecked.
Squashed him like a peanut.
He didn't know what to do. That's like watching a street game. It really is. I don't even know what else to say. It was just.
No, you're 100% right.
Greatness from Randall last night and Brunson, and again, 6-man icon at this point, Josh Hart. They did their thing, but for game 2, you better expect the Cavs to come with a different energy. Because
they're talking a lot of shit right now. That's what I know.
Yeah, because they're like,
let him keep talking. Let him keep talking.
Let him keep talking because it's gonna come back to bite them. Because in the end, let's talk about the real story here. Donovan Mitchell was down 38. Great. He dropped 38. What did the rest of your team do? If you put Jared Allen and Darius Garland together, they still didn't have as many points as Mitchell did. Allen played 43 minutes and had 14 points and 14 rebounds. So he had a double-double. Credit to him. He's a great rebounder. We saw that even with him in the Nets. But Garland wasn't performing and coming close to what Mitchell was contributing.
Of course.
Which, if you had Sexton still on the team, I think Sexton and Mitchell together would have totally dropped 60 combined. They could have totally done it. But they bought in on Garland being the future when Sexton was clearly the future. And they moved on from it.
I think Sexton's a better scorer, but shouts to the man, Jigga Man Porto. How you doing, folks? See you tomorrow. Yes, Jigga Man, and as I said, Hector from KOD Media. Next Morning Brew will be on with us during the game. But I just got to pull out some quotes real quick. And this was a lot of what the Cavs are doing. I'll get to John's thoughts in a sec. I apologize. JB Bickerstaff after the game. We have to be more physical. Donovan Mitchell, there's more physicality. There's more intensity that can be had. Darius Garland, the mentality that we have to have is to go punch first. Isaac Okoro, you got to be tough. You got to go out there and you got to be. Now, Isaac Okoro on Jalen Brunson, and he is soft for this. He says Jalen Brunson has antics on the court that allow him to draw fouls. Nodding your head back, falling on the ground where not a lot of physicality was used on you.
Fuck off.
That's that quote.
I'm not even going to address it at this point.
Soft.
Here, Luca, pull up the board. I'll do it in spirit with you.
Soft?
S-O-F-T. Soft.
Or L, so however you want to say it.
I think one of the big things we should also mention is that as close of a game as it was, there was one player where if he would have showed up, the Cavs probably would have won. And who was that player? Karis LeVert. 18 minutes, only scored 3 points. He had one of the worst plus minuses of the night at minus 14. Mm-hmm. 1 of 7 in the field, didn't make a single three.
That's exactly it. Because in my article I wrote, the 2 X factors were Josh Hart and Karis LeVert. Karis LeVert had to have a big series for Cleveland, and Josh Hart's already off to a good start. And yeah, because LeVert, Donovan Mitchell needs some help off the bench, and they didn't get anything off the bench. Nothing. Awful.
Yeah. And, I think also there's one. I think the only other thing I could say is, if the Cavs really want to compete here, they also need Mobley to step up more. I don't know how else to word it, because, again, this is a guy who was in the DPOY conversation, and it felt like he was getting bullied all night. And, he didn't have an answer for anything defensively. Randall exposed so much in him, a lot of weaknesses, that even Cavs fans are noticing it. And they're just like, oh, he's got to pull up muscle in the season. That's great. That's telling me you're ready to give up and let the Knicks move on. So I'm already starting to see mentality from Cavs fans if they're ready to give up on the series already. Which, if that's already how they feel, wait till they see how it feels when the Knicks keep proving more pressure and when they go back to MSG. Because they won't be ready for the energy that's going to come at the Garden. Because when was the last time the Knicks were in the playoffs? I'm just curious here.
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
2 years. How rockin' was the Garden those 2 years ago?
It was
insane.
And you guys have been waiting to go back. You thought it was going to be last year. Then, your coach decided to not make good decisions. And Randall decided to not show up last season. But now that's all changed. You guys are ready to get back involved. And the fans are going to be an X factor in that Garden. They always are. Look, if the Cavs don't figure something out in this next game, it's over. That's how I'm going to put it.
Look at the season series. 3-1. Donovan Mitchell dropped 43 in the last game, but they still got blown out by 15 points. Because we've just got more we got more depth. And the thing is, I'm not worried about Donovan Mitchell scoring 40 points. It's his co-stars. If his co-stars do nothing like they did the last game, and the game prior, and the game prior to that, I don't care. It's really about the co-stars.
Absolutely.
Shutting down the co-stars. Donovan Mitchell can do what he wants. If he can drop 43, it's fine, as long as the other guys don't.
And I'm going to add one more just before, I guess we're going to go to John after this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to add this one more thing. Big credit needs to go out to Isaiah Hartenstein.
Yes.
Defensively, since he's been on this team, it took a little while, but right now he's proving like he might be the best defender in New York. He really is. His dominance inside the paint's ridiculous.
Exactly.
Dude had a plus 19 last night, I think. It was, plus 19. And Obi had a plus 12.
Obi had a nice game.
Obi had a great game, despite the fact he wasn't starting. It was good night off the bench.
So what's going on with Josh Hart? Is he out next game?
He's doubtful with a sore ankle, I believe. But there's 2 things that I think will happen or could happen. I think Josh Hart's going to try to fight through it for game 2, or he's going to be ready in healed up for Game 3. He's had 2 days of rest. Obviously, I think they said they'll see where he's at tomorrow in warmups. But just going to want to get to a few comments real quick. I don't want to interrupt John. With no heart, need to play Grimes and Fournier. Could get a couple minutes.
No, Fournier. No.
Disagree. I'm going to say McBride.
Deuce on Darius Garland. Shut him down. Absolutely.
I'd let McBride play. McBride's a slasher, and he's a catch and spot shooter. I don't mind.
Excellent defender. Excellent all-ball defender.
That's basically what Hart is. Hart's
Brian,
a creator and catch and shoot.
Brian, in your opinion, does Garland and Mitchell work together?
It could work a lot better. I'm going to write it off right now as this is just their first season. They got to get more used to each other after this. Next season is where you got to see it because the off season is the best time to build that relationship better before going into the next year. If you're not good after 2 years, it's not going to work. The second year is where it matters most.
Newest star of the show, we got Riley, the dog. But anyways, I very much agree with Brian on that sentiment. John, your thoughts?
And I didn't zone out.
Exactly.
No, well, all right. First off, I want to Josh Hart. When I saw that shot that he hit to put us up back by 1 in that fourth quarter, because I'll admit when I was watching the game, I really thought that we were going to blow it just because Cleveland had all that momentum. Josh Hart hit that shot. I was saying, Josh Hart, you are so fucking beautiful. You're so fucking beautiful. This dude is has to be one of the best pickups at the deadline that we've gotten in our history. He does it all, man. And I pray that he's 100% for Game 2 tomorrow because he, like Donald said, he's one of the X factors. But he's a clutch player. He can score. He can defend. He can assist. He can rebound. He can do it all, man. And just I don't my jaw dropped when he hit the shot, and I'm like, wow.
Of course.
Literally, I was stunned. And then we briefly touched on Brunson, but Brunson was so fantastic in this game. And no, he wasn't, what that idiot Okoro said. We're not going to listen to him. He's just jealous and upset that we're up 1-0. But Brunson, man, I mean, this dude is one of the most efficient scorers ISO. I mean, I know we talk about playing, a team game and whatnot, and it is, but this dude Brunson just finds ways to score, and he'll have a hand in his face. He could be double teamed, and he'll still score. So kudos to him. Brian stole one of my points actually, and he wasn't zoned out there. I saw that.
Nope.
But,
sorry, I'm still processing the fact that Boston just scored. And my hopes and dreams have been crushed.
It's all right. Good. Anyway, Hartenstein has been an excellent defender. I think that's why Karis LeVert also struggled, just because he's a mainstay in that paint, and I think he's a very underrated rim protector. But he's also good, he can defend kind of the perimeter area too. I noticed that, and I'm like, wow, for a big man, that's pretty impressive. I don't know what was your guys. I kind of want to get the opinion on Randall because it was his first game back in 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, I'd say. So what was I thought he did good. There were times where I thought maybe he was a little. He was definitely physically ready. Just he missed a couple shots that I thought he could hit. I don't know if it was mental. I don't know if it was just.
I would say though, when Mitchell pushed him, he didn't let anything happen to him.
He didn't. No, I give him credit for that. But I was because we were talking about it over the weekend actually, and Luka brought up the point that maybe he shouldn't play Game 1 if he's not 100% because the reports were a little conflicting. I thought he wasn't taking contact at first. In practice, so that was a little worrisome to me, but I think he played well enough. The one guy that Donald can't stand, Luka can't stand, I can't stand, RJ Barrett is fucking trash, man. I'm sorry.
Crackleus was talking about it.
There is no fucking justification for it. Honestly, I don't even know if he should start. I'm not going to change anything now because we won, but he was horrendous, man.
-13, by the way.
Ugh.
-13.
I feel like every time he gets the ball at this point, I just know he's going to either turn it over or he's going to miss a shot or he's going to do something dumb. Do you get the feeling like that? Or
No,
am
I
the
understand.
only one?
I completely understand. I want to
It's
add
like so bad.
because there was this war on Twitter today over this very subject, RJ Barrett. And now there are me and Donald have mentioned this on our own Knicks podcast. There is an RJ hive in this fan base, whether you like it or not. There is an RJ hive, and the responses from the RJ hive when they bring up how bad he was on some players, like he would never go get the ball. Like there's a ball heading out of bounds, he's not going to get that ball, and he's going to let the ball roll out of bounds. That's effort. That's disgraceful. That shouldn't happen. But yes, he does nothing great. Ninth man, completely agree. Crackle nuts. But what I understand from these people, these RJ fans, they go out and say this: "It's we won. Why does RJ's performance matter?" Folks, we didn't play believe it or not, we did not play our best game on Saturday. We did not. Shooting, 8 of 20 from 3? Emmanuel Quickley was not good. He was good defensively, but offensively, he was turning the ball over, didn't shoot well. Quentin Grimes didn't get a lot of touches. RJ Barrett stunk. But what else is new? When he's blowing easy layups at the basket, not looking to pass in transition, missing open shots. They're daring RJ Barrett to shoot open threes because they know he's going to fucking miss. That's the same shit the Knicks are doing with Isaac Okoro because they know he's going to miss. He made some passes, great. But you know what? I'm just sick and tired of this little faction of the fan base who doesn't take everything in a vacuum. They say, oh, you're only picking up the bad plays. But news to you, buddies, you're only picking out the good plays. And you blame the bad plays on everybody else. Tom Thibodeau, the Sky, Julius Randle, the Cleveland Cavaliers, everybody.
Brian.
They can blame anybody in the world for his bad stuff. And I don't get it. We are all one team. We are all one fan base. We're one team, and we're trying to root for this team to succeed. We want RJ to succeed. Right now, he's not succeeding, and in my opinion, he's walking his way out of New York. That's how I feel, and I'm an RJ Barrett fan. Donald, I shit you not. Panel, I shit you not. I said RJ was going to be an all-star for this year, and I was completely wrong. Wrong. And it's not about me taking the L. I don't care. My personal pride doesn't matter at this moment. It's just that he has not improved, and we want him to step it up in Game 2. Randall played fine on Saturday night, especially coming off an injury. He had 15 points in the first half, but you know what? Randall always tried to make the right play.
He did. I give him credit. I thought he played good. I was just, but Barrett, man, Jesus, man, he's a lost cause. What do you? I hate to say it. I want the guy to succeed, but he's a fucking lost cause out there.
But let me add something here about Barrett, which is crazy. Because we're saying this is a bad year for him, right? This is a bad year.
Yeah.
What I don't understand is that the points are almost identical to last year in averages. The only big downside to him right now is that his 3-point percentage is the worst of his career at 31.
Yeah.
Is at 31, basically.
He's not
31%.
efficient. He's not an efficient
His
scorer.
efficiency's down.
Or shooting.
But he's still attempting 5 a game. That's the problem. Because in, let's say, the season that they went to the playoffs, 2020, 2021, 2 years ago, that was his best season, shooting just over 40%. And he was attempting for 1 less 3 a game than now.
I'll be honest, Brian, that's a complete outlier. There were no fans in the stands. He was benefiting mainly off corner threes.
Yes.
But that's what I'm trying to add context to that, because he doesn't shot create. He doesn't create open looks for his teammates. By Craft NBA, I was actually doing an article for school on this, no lie. RJ Barrett is 8th percentile in passer rating.
Yeah, his defensive numbers are the worst of his career right now.
He's a sieve defensively.
His defense has dropped drastically. His 3-point shooting is out the window. And even when I'm watching him try to hit mid-range shots that are just outside of the ring in the middle, right around the
free throw line,
they don't make it. He misses them still. They'll bounce off the rim. He might miss it altogether. It's a problem. And the problem that I'm noticing is during the season, I have a feeling Thibodeau was telling him, "Don't worry, you'll work out your problems on the court when you play." And when he would play, did he ever work out the problems? No, he didn't. It got worse. Because now he's thinking, oh, I really need to kick this and need to get back on track. So I'm going to attempt more shots and be more selfish with the ball. And what is that getting him? It's gaining him nothing. and it's making the team worse. He's becoming, and I hate to say it because this is a guy you guys had so much optimism about last year. He's becoming a liability.
He is a liability.
Already. At this rate, if he doesn't pick it up next game or in the next 2 games even, I'll give him till game 3. If he doesn't pick it up by the end of game 3, you might have to consider a benching, which is going to suck, but it's got to happen.
So you got a starting small forward who is a sieve defensively, and he's a terrible playmaker and bad ball handler. And he's got one move, which is to try and basically shoulder his way into the paint on his left side.
Right,
That's all he can do.
Even when he drives right, he still uses his left hand.
Yeah.
Even then, at that point, you either got to make IQ start or you got to make hard start. One of the two. Because technically, Barrett isn't really a natural small forward. He could play either shooting guard or small forward. He's a 2 or 3. He's like a hybrid. But that means you can put anybody in that position still. And I think if you put Quickly or Hart in there, you'll get better defense and better shooting. Keeping Barrett there feels like it's just because they want to justify his contract. That's what it feels like it's become.
100%.
It is.
It's actually really easy to defend him because as long as you take away his left hand, and you box him out in the paint and make him shoot from the outside or even a mid range, your quid's in. Like, he's not going to do anything.
Yeah, you're right.
And also another thing when it comes to I've watched this on Saturday, obviously, he's bad in the pick and roll. You ever notice when he's like close to out of bounds, Mitchell Robinson will come in and set a pick and RJ dribbles and moves back, and he waits because he gets trapped in the pick and roll so easily because he doesn't have that quickness.
And also because he doesn't have a move in the paint, he goes around in a circle. You've seen that so many times. He goes around in a circle. He dribbles around in a circle. It's so weird.
It's bad. It's bad for RJ. Again, he still has time to rebound, but we need better performances out of him and IQ and Quentin Grimes, obviously, with Josh Hart out. So to get a few comments, he doesn't have confidence in his shot.
Absolutely.
Bad thing. How many times when Randall and Brunson go to the bench and he's supposed to take the lead with the second unit and he does nothing to help? Yeah. I mean, remember, it was not long ago where Obi Toppin and him had an exchange on the bench because Obi Toppin was wide-ass open for a transition 3, RJ bricks it. It's frustrating, man. And it's frustrating for people defending his performances, which is ridiculous. But anyways, I think this I'll be honest, this game 1 win gave me a lot of confidence and more confidence for the series. Will we take game 2? I'm not sure. I don't like what the Cavs are saying, which I think is giving bulletin material to the Knicks, bulletin board material for all the Isaac Okoro stuff. And here's what I don't know his name. Let me shrink out of this real quick. This is a Cleveland guy. I don't know who he is respectively, but this is him talking about how the league wants the Knicks to advance. All right, let's press play.
The league needs the Knicks to advance. They've been persona non grata for 30 years.
Yeah.
The television contracts are set off playoff ratings. End of story.
Yeah.
They need them to get to a second round. It's the number 1 market in the United States.
Yeah.
It's going to inflate the TV number no matter what. He said that, and I go, and you know what? They're going to let Randall be Randall. They're going to let him be the bull in the china shop.
Yeah.
And we've got guys in Allen and Mobley that when they get hit in the mouth, they hold it. And instead of firing back.
Right.
And Tibbs knows that, and the league let him go.
Yeah.
And if they continue to officiate it like that, this thing won't even be close.
I thought it was a fairly called game. I had no problem.
I just thought there were times he was way too aggressive.
Well,
That's a dumb take. I'm sorry. That's a dumb take, and this is coming. And this
He's never heard of Knicks for clicks. Clearly.
Let me throw this in. Okay, that is the dumbest excuse possible because you're basically claiming the NBA is rigged. That's essentially what you're saying. That's one.
Aggressive, guys. He's too aggressive.
And 2, I can relate to this because the star of my team has a reputation for being too aggressive on the court, and that's Giannis. And there are times where he'll get called stuff offensively, and what are you going to say then? You're going to say that, because Milwaukee, you can't say that Milwaukee's a big market because it's not. It's a small market team. So in 2021, when we won a championship, was it rigged for us?
Stop, Brian. You're too aggressive. You're too aggressive, man. Stop.
I know. I'm getting a little too aggravated.
No, you're hurting feelings. Stop.
I get it. I'm getting too aggravated. Calm down.
Stop. You're
I know.
hurting
I'm sorry. I don't want to
feelings.
get teed up. I don't want a technical.
Yeah. What a bunch of fucking bitches. That's what they are.
It's pansies, bro. Pansies. This is what Cleveland fans do. I'm sorry. Now I'm going to hate on the city of Cleveland. Because
please do. Please do.
Let me make it clear. Browns fans are pitiful because they're going to owe $60 million to a quarterback who would rather hang out at massage parlors than play quarterback. Let's start with that. The Cleveland Cavaliers are upset about because LeBron won't come back and they can't be successful without him. Let's say that. And Mitchell is no LeBron, so let's not even go there. Let's think of some other Cleveland teams. The Guardians. Do we even start with the Guardians? They can't even get past New York Yankees, who themselves can't even get out of their own way.
Off of Brian's point, do you guys remember last year that Twitter video that was circling Twitter? And the guy's like, they're just a bunch of pennies because they don't want to play tonight, and they have a $250 million payroll. Does anyone remember that? That idiot Guardians fan?
Alex,
I don't even want to hear it. I hope they start a fight with another Guardians fans. Another Guardians player. I really do. I hope Yankees fans keep that same energy because Miles Straw was a menace last year.
Oh, fuck him.
I really hope Randall bullies the shit out of Evan Mobley. It just builds my anger to win this series, and I think we
punch him in the mouth. Good.
And if you win this, you got to play the winner of the Milwaukee series, right? Right after.
Yes.
So we could be at odds.
I want to shift. That's because before one thing, Cleveland sucks. There's nothing there. Who wants to go to Cleveland for vacation?
You only go there for business conferences. That's really it. That's most people do it for.
They say that about every New York team. Then why did the Knicks go past last year, or the Yankees go to the World Series for views?
That's a good point.
Exactly.
But again,
Houston's not a major market.
I also want let's shift gears. Brian, your Bucks lost yesterday, and Giannis is hurt. He's expected to play for Game 2. Give us some insight. And by the way, I also want to mention one thing. We're going to read an article that suggests that the NBA should ban charges.
Ooh, I'm actually going to be a little lenient on this one, especially with the charge thing, because that is a natural thing. And also because there's a lot of times where I feel like Giannis could get called for a charge and he doesn't. Like, I think he gets away with a good amount because he is just as good as he is and as physical as he is. But, yeah, I really think that this was just a oddball game for the Heat. It was their best shooting game, best offensive game they've had all year. They brought it at the right time in Milwaukee. So that's their first credit. And I want to give credit to the Bucks for trying to keep close and stay close because even without Giannis, they still managed to score 117, which is still impressive in itself. But, not having Giannis is a big loss because that's a great defensive force, your best defender on the court's out of the game, and your guy that's pretty much reliable that gets the most free throw opportunities is off the court. So that just creates more issues. I did see one major positive in my team yesterday, which was that Chris Middleton finally decided to wake up again out of his slumber he's had for half the season and dropped 33 points. And that was a really good performance of his. And shocking parts, the majority of it wasn't even in three-point shots. He only made 2 threes yesterday. That makes it even more impressive. Drew Holiday, just not a great game from him. I know 16.16 assists is great, but just scoring-wise, I needed to see more. Grayson Allen wasn't much of a contributor. Javon Carter was shooting brick after brick. It was just not a phenomenal game for some guys. It should have been. And I'm going to call out Brook Lopez as one of them. 10 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 blocks. He did his thing on defense. That's nowhere to be denied. But, going 0 for 3 from beyond the arc and only attempting 7 shots the whole game, That's not something that's going to help you win. And for the Heat yesterday, everything was clicking despite the fact that Hero broke his hand halfway through the game. And they still managed to crush him. Just everything worked for them. We needed so much. We competed. But there was no way you could overcome the Heat that they had. Now, the next game, we'll probably have Giannis back. He's going to fight through the pain, probably get a pain injection in his back, and just go through it, whatever it is. And I think we're playing again Wednesday. So we'll see what happens there. I've got confidence Milwaukee will bounce back. We're going to win at home. But, yeah, I just want to also address the one thing I mentioned when we started the stream, which I don't think Donald was here for. Reggie Miller has got to cut it out. I don't know if he's got some issues with the Bucks from his playing career or something, but he's got some anti-Milwaukee attitude. I don't know what it is. Donald, he actually said on the air yesterday when Tyler Hero broke his hand, he said Tyler Hero getting hurt from Miami is a bigger loss than Giannis getting hurt from Milwaukee.
I don't know if that's biased more than just stupid.
And I don't get it because to me, Tyler Hero's a sixth man. He's not even a starter to me. I mean, that's all I see him as. He's just a more glorified Duncan Robinson. That's it. He plays like Duncan Robinson, but he gets more media hype. That's how I put it. And I don't know. Just how could they say that when you still have Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, you got Martin off the bench, Lowry can get hot sometimes. They still have shooters. But you still decided to make the point that losing Hero is a big loss. I don't get it.
I have no respect for Reggie Miller's basketball IQ. Great player. Analyst, he's an asshole.
He's a great player. He's a legend of the game. There's no denying it. Probably one of the greatest three-point shooters ever. But his analysis of the game today is terrible. His opinions are terrible. It's like trying to listen to Kendrick Perkins have a conversation about a serious topic. Because if he talks about a serious topic, he always goes to the extreme wrong. The extreme wrong. Right. At least when you listen to Stephen A. Smith talk, right? You listen to him talk about basketball, he actually sounds like he knows a lot. And it's crazy because Stephen A. didn't play at the NBA level. I mean, he played community college basketball or small school basketball, really, in college?
Probably.
Yeah. And he didn't do very great, but he knew the game of basketball. He was an avid watcher. He studies it. Perkins' immediate excuse is like most people, which is, I played in the league, so I obviously don't want to talk about it. I don't really have to watch the games as much. I mean, are you kidding me? Like, that's what I feel like sometimes listening to these analysts, especially the athletes. Like, I always have a lot of appreciation for an athlete who gives a great take and really studies and watches the game even beyond retirement. But someone who doesn't and they try to make an opinion about it, like, I can't respect it. You love the game, you played the game, you're dedicated to the game, but you won't even watch the games anymore.
I don't respect people that carry their same prejudice and hate of their rivals into their TV analyst career. Like, a completely different thing.
I don't see it.
Why are they doing it?
Not everyone does it. Like Shaq and Charles
Pierce don't do it. Kendrick Perkins doesn't do it. Kendrick Perkins is the only one that gave the Knicks credit all year long. He was like, don't sleep on the Knicks. He kept saying that. Kendrick Perkins kept saying, don't sleep on the Knicks. Don't sleep on the Knicks. And everyone's like, ha, 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 ha. He's like, no, they're good. Trust me, they're good. So he was right.
That's one take I'll give him, but he's had some very bad ones. He's had some bad ones.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, if there's one basketball analyst I've always respected because he still watches the games beyond the fact he's retired, I only got one. JJ Redick.
Oh, he's brilliant.
JJ's the only one that I respect.
Brilliant.
Because he's really got a great mind of the game from his over a decade of experience in the league. I mean, he just has so much knowledge. I really just admire it. And he's a great person to listen to when it comes to talking NBA. That I have to say.
No, he's brilliant.
Do you think I'm going to ask Brian this because obviously we're talking about the Bucks here. Do you think that lower back contusion is going to have an effect on Giannis? Will he be 100% Giannis, not in terms of health but performance? Do you think that will have an effect?
I'll say about 90%. He's usually good with pain tolerance. He plays through a lot of it. Plays through a lot of bruises. You see how he plays. He's a bruiser. He's a guy that just goes through, slams his body around everywhere, does what he has to do. He gets physical. So he should be used to this. He's played through this kind of stuff before. At most, if it's really bothering him, they may just give him a pain injection. And at that point, he can tolerate it the rest of the game. He'll figure it out afterwards. if it's a contusion, it's just a bruise. The question was the concern of if it is a bone bruise or if it affected his spine, because it was a lower back thing, which is about the tailbone. So if you mess that up, you can't bend. And that's what they were worried about. If it was something worse, then he wouldn't be able to play. They'd have to rest him more than just the next game. He's going to play this next game. Will he be 100%? Probably not, but he'll fight through it. And I've got confidence that they'll rebound well. I just need to see these guys get more consistent, because this was the first time I watched the game where the guys that performed so well all year didn't really show up that night. Like, they didn't do what they usually do. Like, I'll see Drew drop 25 with a few more with some good three-point shooting. I'll see Grayson Allen have some good supporting role where he throws like in 3 buckets of his own. Joe Ingles will throw in 3 of his own. You'll see Bobby Portis drop 20, which he did in game 1, because, Bobby P, GOAT. I'm sure you Knicks fans know about that. The GOAT himself.
Dewey.
He does. He's such a great 6-man. It's unbelievable. There's a reason why he's up for the award. He's up for 6-man of the year for a reason.
I think yeah.
Actually, you know what? Why don't we discuss the awards briefly?
We should.
That's true. So I'm going to pull up the first of all, Jaren Jackson, as we highlighted, did win Defensive Player of the Year.
Still think it's bullshit.
I'd have given it to Burke. I'm going
to be honest with you. And I'm going to say it because I'm not going to get hot about this. I already got hot a little bit a couple times already. Combination of whatever Li said and something else. But Lopez played 15 more games than him. He played the majority. He barely got hurt, really. He was barely hurt this year. Led the league in blocks.
Yeah, I give it to Brooke, man. I give it to Brooke Lopez.
Brooke did so much this year. He led the league in a lot of defensive categories. So I don't understand why Jaren Jackson Jr. gets the edge here when he really didn't deserve it because he was hurt a lot. He was barely on the floor. That's why when we were talking about the CBA with the rules,
yes,
I kind of would admire it here, because let's see how many games he played. I'm going to look it up right now. Let me see.
It's a 65 minimum mark, and you have to play over 20 minutes.
He played 63 games. I don't want to hear it. He played 63 games. Come on now.
Great point.
And then you talk about Brooke Lopez in an 82-game season. Guess how many games he played? 78.
Just 4 games.
Almost every game. And if you keep looking at it, let's go maybe his defense. Let's say rebound stats, right? His rebounding. Total rebounds, he was averaging almost 7. His blocks were at 2.5. He was averaging 2.5 blocks, which is a career high.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everything he did was so much better this year. Even his 3-point percentage was at his best of his career, 37.4%. I mean, I'm still in the defensive end here, but again, everything was right. He had the most blocks of his career this year. Everything he did on the floor made sense. He was great. Even his block percentage, which is the estimate of the percentage of opponent 2-point field goal attempts blocked by the player while they were on the floor, 6.7%. That's insane.
Brian, as a Knicks fan, I worry about Brooke Lopez. I don't concern myself with Jaren Jackson. I don't think, oh no, how are we going to get past Jaren Jackson? I think how are we going to get past Brooke Lopez? That's just the way I am.
And the fans' argument, which I hate, by the way, I hate this argument, is that they say he's not even the best defender on his team. They say he's not as good of a defender as Giannis this season. He wasn't as good of a defender as Drew Holiday this season. They put him at number 3. I massively disagree. I actually think Drew Holiday's defense regressed this year. And Giannis was about the same. He didn't really have a DPOY type of year. I think really Brooke was the one who dominated this year at the biggest moments. Let's go back to the one game this year where he had 10 blocks.
Mm-hmm.
He had I think he said they had a triple-double where he was missing something. He didn't have, I think it was assists. He got a triple-double with points, rebounds, and blocks.
Wow.
That's ridiculous to me. And he was told, "Oh, we're not going to give you the award. We're just going to give it to Jaren Jackson Jr., who played 63 games."
I agree with you, man. I'm with you.
Brooke
Lopez. I'll give you that, Brian. That was a good argument.
Brooke Lopez ranks in the 80th percentile in defensive rebounds. Jaren Jackson, 41st percentile.
How much more do I have to explain here?
Robbery.
I'm also gonna say it's about crackle nuts here. Knicks against Milwaukee, I would be scared of that. I actually would be.
Really?
I would be. Because we aren't a great defensive unit like we've been since Budenholzer took over. Our defense hasn't been as great, honestly. If you guys get hot from the perimeter, we might not be able to answer.
I'm sorry. No, we don't have an answer for Giannis. Giannis, we do not have an answer for. Or Brook
Hartenstein
Lopez.
and Randall together would be the answer.
If Giannis were out, that'd be a different story. But I'm sorry.
You guys are at least pushing us to 6.
Giannis,
This is at least a 6-game series with you guys.
Giannis bullies Randall.
And if we do get a Knicks Bucks, honestly, for the second round, I would totally be down to do a stream with you guys reacting and everything.
Oh, definitely. I think Randall bullies 90% of the league, but he can't bully Giannis.
Yeah.
Like, Giannis is just different
But let me tell
specimen
you
altogether.
something. I'm going to ask you guys a question because I've seen this on Twitter a lot. Do you think Giannis is a dirty player?
No.
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 Not in the least.
Okay.
No,
Because there's a guy who went out there and made an entire thread of trying to say that Giannis was a dirty player. And one of the things he cited was Porzingis' ACL injury.
Porzingis is hurt all the time. Are you kidding?
They're saying that he caused the ACL injury.
You see,
Terrible.
Brian, those people sometimes we call those special because they're bored and they really are just special. Okay.
Like, the argument they've always had was that whenever there's sometimes in rebounds and guys turn around, they feel like Giannis's knee is always underneath them, so they end up tripping, and that's when they hurt themselves. They're saying he's dirty for that. But it's like, honestly, I don't think it's dirty. I think he's just reckless when he plays. He can be reckless in terms of physicality.
That's a fair argument. So Thursday night, it was announced that this Thursday night they will announce the Sixth Man of the Year award. So we're going to go to that. It's between Emmanuel Quickley, Malcolm Brogdon, and Bobby Portis from the Bucks.
IQ.
I can make a case for Emmanuel Quickley, definitely.
Yeah.
I can make one. Let's actually pull up the numbers. I've got some here for you. So IQ, he's basically been splitting all year as a starter and as a bench guy.
Mm-hmm.
He averaged about, how many minutes did he average this year? He had 28.9. That's more like starter numbers, but I'll give it to him as a six-man here. He only started 21 games, but shooting almost 45 from the field, 37 from three-point, about averaging a total rebounds about 4.2 career high. Assists about the same as last year, 3.4. 1 steal, career high, and you know how it is with blocks with him. Turnovers, 1.2, good, and he was averaging 15 points, which is, again, a career high, and is only his third season.
And his plus minus is like through the roof, like crazy good.
It's a great plus minus. Now, what did you guys say the other one? You said Bobby Portis was one of them, right?
Malcolm Brogdon.
Now I'm going to make notes of the games played. IQ played in 81 games this year.
Wow.
Portis played in 70, but that's because he had an injury at the midpoint that was rough with the ankle. And as we also like to call him, Bobby Buckets had 14 points as well, which off the bench is about the same as like that season he had with Chicago in like 18-19 when he went to Washington when he split. It's really about the same. Let's see. He played 26 minutes, so less minutes, shooting almost 50 from the field, 37 from three, so same as Quickly. Total rebounds about 9.5, 1.5 assists, half a steal, block was like whatever, and that's it. And I can't find the plus minus for him right now. I'm trying to find it.
Luca, did you show Brian or even send it to the chat the duck season, Wabbit season?
We could always pull that up.
You could.
Let me.
So bad. Oh my.
I really think that was yeah. So those are some good numbers for Portis, who's again only just who's basically a 4-5 hybrid.
You can make a good case for both of them.
It is.
Good cases. And the last name you guys said was?
Portis Brogdon Quickly.
Brogdon. Another former Buck. Which to this day, I still don't understand why we let him go instead and kept Eric Bledsoe. I'll never understand it.
Bledsoe's out of the league right now.
And there's a reason for that because he wasn't good. Let's see. Brogdon, 15 points, so averaging the same as Quickly right now in points with 26 minutes per game. Shooting 48.4 from the field, 44.4 from three, so he's been electric from beyond the arc this year.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Rebounds total 4.2, which is kind of crazy for a guard. 3.7 for an assists and 0.7 steals and 0.3 blocks, 1.5 turnovers. So again, good contributions all the way around, but let's be real here. Two guys are in the playoffs and one's not. Wait, no. Oh, that's right. Brogdon's on the Celtics. Shit. I'm thinking like he's still on the Pacers. My bad. I'm thinking he's still on the Pacers. Sorry. Forgot he's even on the Celtics. So all three are in the playoffs. They're all around the same in points. One guy's averaging more minutes, and that is IQ by a good amount.
IQ is also, I think, in my opinion, the third best player on the Knicks. In my opinion, you have Randall and Brunson top two. Quickly made the jump that RJ should have, in my opinion. But a lot of people say, Quickly started this many games. As long as you're on the bench for more games than you start, you should be fine. But even like the numbers, like the Knicks are like 10 points better on defense when Emmanuel Quickly's out there. They're like 12 when he's not. So that's how impactful he is. He's one of the top defensive guards across the NBA, top in defensive rating. So I pulled this out last week. I'm going to do it again this week. Let me just make sure my tabs.
I make the argument for Josh Hart, but they're interchangeable at 3 and 4. But
Quickly also is his real plus minus for this season is a 1.25. So it's positive.
Good.
Let's look at it real quick while you're pulling up the video.
Also, Quickly over his last 10 games, averaging 24 points per game.
Bobby Portis's plus minus is a minus 2.38. 2.38.
Wow.
So that takes him out, basically. And then if I go to Malcolm Brogdon's real plus minus was this season a minus 2.77. So actually, Brogdon had the worst plus minus, real plus minus. Quickly had the best, and he was the only one that was positive.
All right, let's play the clip.
Rabbit season. Duck season. Rabbit season. Duck season. Rabbit season. Duck season. Shining so bright. Strawberry champagne.
Listen, Bobby's a fan favorite. I can't deny that. He really is. Do I think he should win it? From my biased perspective, yes. But if I'm being unbiased here, I think Quickly is the leader here. The argument will obviously be the starting roles, but it's Quickly.
Please tell that to all the Celtics fans out there.
I think it's Quickly, then Portis, and Brogdon 3.
Celtics fans are saying that because they haven't had a good guard since Rondo. And you could argue Kyrie whatever you want, but what happened with him?
He was there for like 1 or 2 years. That's it.
Yeah.
Come on now. So
the way I look at it is the Celtics have got a great team regardless of Brogdon, right? The Knicks need Quickly, and the Bucks needed Portis this year with Middleton being hurt for a long period. Portis had a big role. He was big. That's why I put them far ahead of Brogdon.
Yeah, I don't think Brogdon's in the conversation here. I think it's down to Portis and Quickly. To me, it's a 50-50. If I'm going biased, I'm saying Portis because I love Portis. Bobby P's phenomenal. I'm sure Knicks fans have a good love for him too still, all love.
Sure.
But Quickly was so good as a guard this year. And that's what you got to look at too. You got a big versus a guard. What gets the edge here? So.
Right. So some more NBA awards real quick. We already went over 6 Man of the Year. Brian, do you think the Coach of the Year is unanimous in saying Mike Brown?
Mike Brown, not even close.
Absolutely. I'm watching. I actually got the game on right now. Sacramento's beating the Warriors again.
Nice.
30-27. I'm telling you, everybody thought the Warriors were the best team and were going to absolutely beat the Kings. Why did everybody write them off? And why did everybody forget that Golden State sucked on the road this year?
Yeah, it's true.
Since home court advantage is in the Kings' favor, if they even take one in Golden State, the series is over.
I honestly, I might have been wrong on this pick because I had Golden State winning, but I didn't think the Kings had the experience, but
De'Aaron Fox is clutch, bro.
Yeah,
he is clutch.
Oh, man.
38 points in his playoff debut. I think it was on Saturday night.
Yeah.
Second most in a playoff debut. First is Luka Doncic.
How about Malik Monk too?
Oh yeah, Monk has been
Sacramento.
good too.
They used
Come
to be
out in big
teammates
moments.
back in Kentucky, and they're back when they were college kids. But Jesus, I might be wrong on Sacramento. Yeah, Monk's leading the way with 9 points right now. So
Yeah. And speaking of Fox, should we go into Clutch Player of the Year?
Oh, I already have the awards, but let's watch some of Fox's stuff from Saturday night. I think it's
So
very
good, man.
prudent. 8 of 11 from the free throw line, 78%.
I saw that one live. That was great. This is what RJ Barrett should be doing.
Lightning. He's lightning.
Makes that Halliburton trade look way better. That fake. Oh my God.
Disgustingly good.
Why are you leaving him open? My God. He never learned.
Bang.
Light the damn beam.
De'Aaron Fox.
Their fans are really cool too. They're really
Yeah,
loud.
I've never
they
had
were
this
they were
Kings fan in my
electric.
life.
They've been waiting for playoffs for a while, so
They're super humble. Some of the nicest people.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, Fox is not even a great perimeter shooter, and he's knocking down those threes. But he also has a big big role in this game too. So, with that, also Monk put up, I think it was 32 points on Saturday. He's been excellent. You could say he was an outsider candidate for Sixth Man of the Year, but that team's good regardless. But anyways, Clutch Player of the Year. Who are you giving it to? Butler, DeRozan, or De'Aaron Fox?
Fox.
Spida, not Spida. Swipe of the Fox.
I think I'm in on Fox too.
All right.
And this is outside of this performance.
Absolutely. Most improved player: Jalen Brunson, Shai Gilgeous, or Lauri Markkanen.
I'm not gonna lie. Feeling Markkanen. I'm feeling Markkanen.
I said Markkanen too last week.
I'm saying Markkanen just because, this is a guy who everybody thought was just going to eventually be out of the league in a year or two. Just a throwaway player to Utah. And since the first few games, we were like, he's playing like an MVP. Can he hold it up? MVP level? No, he couldn't keep it there. But he proved that he could potentially be a star as a member of the Jazz, being a guy to build around. And that was big for a guy who bounced around from team to team for a while after his stint with Chicago because he couldn't stay healthy. And now here he is healthy, playing with Utah. And even though they're not in the playoffs, he showed a lot of great traits that I could just say, yeah, this guy's going to stick around for a while. And he got an all-star nod. Don't forget that either. Dude went from being considered out of the league to having an all-star season with 25.5 points. For the record, the last season, he was averaging 15, just under 15. And this season, he was averaging 25.5. And that was with how many more minutes? Just an extra 4 minutes.
My bias wants to say Brunson, but I think SGA is going to end up winning it because he had an extraordinary this year because and that's why the Thunder were in the play-in first of all. But
It's all media hype.
You think it's all media hype?
I think it might be more just media hype than anything else. And the only reason I'm going to say that is because I'm going to agree with you on the Brunson thing because Brunson got an 8-point jump this year, which was very significant as a role leader. But we can't say outright that Brunson was the main guy on the team. I think you could put him and Randall tandem. I can't really put one over the other. Like Brunson's like the facilitator, like a Stockton that can score better.
I disagree.
I disagree.
Brunson
Brunson's Batman, in my opinion. Brunson's Batman.
Everyone knows it. Everyone in New York knows it. Brunson's
Okay.
number one, man.
And you said Shea, right?
Shai Gilgeous, yes.
Yeah, Shy. All right. Shy only had a 7-point jump, but the fact is he had 31.5 points, which is absolutely ridiculous.
He also led his team to the play-in. Don't
He did.
forget. So,
He got them into the play-in, but this is a guy who was averaging 24 the last 2 seasons each. And all of a sudden he had this massive jump this season as the leader playing 68 games. I mean, I'll tell you one thing, it's not easy. It's not easy for me to choose Shea here, and I don't think I am going to choose Shea. I think I'm still going to stick with Laurie besides that, because we never had a doubt in our mind, even when he was back in LA with the Clippers, that Shea wasn't going to be a star. We didn't think he was. There was no point where you said, this guy's not going to be a star. And he goes to OKC to be the main guy. He was there to be the future. And he's living up to the hype. He got a bigger role in OKC, and in the last 3 seasons, he's been averaging 24 plus. And this season, he hit 30 plus.
he's incredible.
He is. And if they keep building right, and I see more consistency and stuff from like Giddey, they could really build a strong young core to last for a long time. Do what the Nets couldn't do.
Right.
Here's my case for Brunson. First of all, where are the Mavericks? Where are the Mavericks now? They're sitting at home, right? Lamenting the loss of Jalen Brunson. That's the one thing, right? And they've got Luka Doncic, they've got Kyrie Irving, but who are they lamenting after Jalen Brunson, right? So another thing, look how much the difference that Jalen Brunson has made to this New York Knicks team, right? It's very much the same roster, right, as last year. Without Jalen Brunson, where were they? Anonymous, out of the play-in, right? Jalen Brunson has the Knicks in the 5th seed. He got the spacing for Julius Randle to bully in the paint. Otherwise, Julius Randle's doing his ball handling outside the paint where he's not effective. That's what he was doing last year. That's why he sucked, right? This year, Jalen Brunson's orchestrated the whole offense, and he's clutch as hell. I think you could actually make arguments that Jalen Brunson's like a top 10 MVP, just considering how much he's turned around a big market team like the Knicks and got them where they are. You know, it's very easy to take in a Utah who are kind of in a rebuild mode. It's kind of easy to be the best player in the Utah, right? But how easy is it to go from a role player in Dallas to the best player in New York?
Right on.
It's different. It's like that's where I'm at. And how would you look at the awards like SGA, like most improved? So SGA has gone from very good to superstar. Okay, I get that. Markkanen, trash to pretty good, and Jalen Brunson, role player to potential superstar.
Yeah.
How would you view what most improved means? That's the thing. That's where I'm at. I think it's Brunson.
I'm actually going to take a look at their real plus minus as well, just to make sure like everything all around is good. I mean, Brunson's at a 2.75, which is insanely good. And his numbers got a lot better this year. The only thing that didn't improve was his field goal percentage, really. That was it. It went down to like a 49.1, which was down from last year. But everything else is up. And he looked phenomenal as the lead guy for the team at this point. I'm gonna say he's the lead guy. And I'm going to take back what I said about Shea, because Shea only spent 1 season with LA. The last 4 were with the Thunder. I thought he had a couple years. It was after his first season, he went to OKC. That's where I got it wrong. But we always knew that he was going to be the star guy. He was top 5 in the league in points this year, which is not an easy feat at all. Dude had more points than Giannis did this year on average. That's an insane thing to do.
Yeah. I'm 1A, 1B. I'm happy with Brunson or SGA. I think they're both.
SGA's RPM is a 4. A 4. That's insane. That's absurd. Literally absurd. And if I look at Laurie, let me look at Laurie's Markkanen's real quick, because I know it's kind of irrelevant at this point, but I'm going to still put Laurie in here. Still 12th in average for points in the league. 24th in rebounds at 8.6. His assists obviously were low because he's a power forward. Right. And his field goal percentage was just at 50. And if I go to his advanced, what was his plus minus? Holy Holy shit. Plus 569. That is insane for him. And if you go to his regular stats, let's just see what it was. In Cleveland last year, the dude was shooting 44.5 from the field. He was shooting 35.8 from three. His free throw percentage was, I don't think free throws matter here in this case. Rebound total was 5.7. He had less blocks average. His turnovers were lower, which is, obviously a good thing, I guess. And then points was about 15. Now he's at almost 26 points this season. He's doing more blocks per game. He's got more assists. His rebounds jumped from 5.7 to 8.6. Let's see what else we got here. His three-point percentage jumped from 35.8 to 39.2, and his field goal percentage went up by a full 5 points. So he really got improved despite the fact that he didn't make the playoffs. I mean, his story is incredible, and that's kind of why I'm leaning that way. But if there is one person who should get it, it would probably be Shea. And I know you made the argument for Brunson. I totally get it. But I think it's just down to Shea and Laurie for me. It's down to those two. Because all three had incredible years for improved. All three did. And there's no denying it.
I'm not going to lie. One of the reasons I want Brunson to win Most Improved Player is because he was snubbed for an All-Star ridiculously.
That's a great point. Yeah, told you.
No, he should have. There was a couple guys that should have had an All-Star, like De'Aaron Fox and
He was an All-Star. Fox was an All-Star.
Yeah, but wasn't he a sub and he wasn't voted in?
That's true, right?
He got in because somebody was injured.
James Harden didn't even make the All-Star team, which was a joke.
I thought that was ridiculous.
That was ridiculous too.
Total disgrace.
Sack count is up 42 to 36.
So much for a bad defensive team. Sack is completely trapping the paint. They're causing a lot of turnovers, so that's what I like.
Who would have thought that one of the best duos in basketball, I think I might actually say the best duo, I might actually argue it, would be Fox and Sabonis. Who would have thought that would have been one of the best duos in basketball?
They got to be up there with the year they're having.
It's up there.
To me, and this is going to sound like weird comparison doing two different sports, but to me, I'm starting to see De'Aaron Fox like the Levante David of the NFL. Of the NBA. And not because of defensive or anything. It's more because it's a guy who consistently performs every single year and never gets recognized for it.
Right.
Like, for example, does Fox have any All-Stars under his name?
Outside of one, no.
Let me see. Besides this 1 year where he got in because of the injury stuff. Besides that, he hasn't had an All-Star his entire career. And what's even crazier, this isn't even his best season to date.
No,
his best
probably
season
not.
was 2 years ago.
I wanted Fox. No joking. I wanted Fox at the deadline last year.
De'Aaron Fox is a phenomenal player that doesn't get enough credit. He just doesn't.
Yeah, he's getting that credit now.
He plays in a city where the only professional sports team they own is literally the Kings.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Sacramento is nothing else.
He's getting that credit now, though. I'm happy for him.
I hope he is, because this is the best stage to do it. Him and Sabonis are a phenomenal duo. It's proving that the trade worked out better for the Kings. And it's good because I always liked that trade.
I want the Kings to win this series.
Because, again, one of them's in the playoffs now. One is still rebuilding. And the people still thought the Kings were going to rebuild after this. Nobody had thought they were going to make the playoffs, let alone be the third seed in the West. The third seed. Who would have thought that?
Not me. Me and Dallas said they were going to be like a play-in end of the like a sixth, like a 7th or 8th or 9th seed.
Go back 6 years. 6 years ago, if somebody told you to your face that the top 3 seeds in the West were gonna be Denver, Memphis, and Sacramento, would you have believed them?
No, probably not.
6 years ago.
No.
Not at all. Look how much this has changed. And this is why sometimes I feel like it makes the game better.
It does. No, I agree.
When you don't have big teams coming in and being the same dominance, it's great. It really is. I have to say. That's why I enjoyed the let's say, let me give you an example. I really did enjoy, and I'm going to relate this maybe to football because that's what I watched the most. That's why I enjoyed the Rams-Bengals Super Bowl, because it was a team two teams you didn't think were really going to be crazy dominant the way they were. Nobody thought Bengals were going to the Super Bowl. And in the offseason, nobody was really a big believer in the Rams, even after they got Matthew Stafford. But they came in, they dominated, and it made it fun. It was enjoyable because it's two fresh faces you've never seen before. I mean, that's something you don't see often. And you see it now in the NBA more and more now. Like last year, you had the Warriors and the Celtics. Long time since you saw the Celtics there. The Warriors are a familiar face. Year before that, you had the Bucks and the Suns. Two teams nobody thought we were going to see face off.
Right.
Nobody saw that. That's why I like the series. Not because the Bucks were in it, but because it's two teams that were small markets. Phoenix is a smaller market compared to the rest of the league, and so is Milwaukee. But you had two small markets go up and face off against each other, and that's what made it fun. So, honestly, Sacramento versus New York. Let's go.
That would be awesome. Right. Give me Embiid.
If Milwaukee gets eliminated and they're not in, I totally do not mind having Sacramento win the whole thing.
I think it'll be the Bucks next series. And give me Embiid for MVP. But I got to sign off. I got to get up in a couple hours. So, Brian, you're on fire. John, great to see you again. And the Twins, you guys are legends. I will see you tomorrow.
Tomorrow for the stream.
Nice one.
Good night, man.
Good night, guys.
Rest up.
And good night, guys. Thanks, everyone in the chat.
Of course.
Rest up, man. All right. So, when Brian was talking about the lethal duo of Sabonis and Fox, I think they're like the next Nash Amari. Like they were in Phoenix. Like they're really freaking good. Even like Monk is converting these pick and rolls with Demonis. I'm not saying Sabonis is Amari, but like the connection is excellent.
Sabonis is a very good, like he's good with the ball, but he doesn't need the ball to be efficient. He's very good at off-ball movement. He really is.
He's a phenomenal. Sorry, I keep jumping in.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say the thing with Sabonis, and I've always loved him since he was in Indiana. Great rebounder, great defender, great scorer. And he's got all three.
He's not even the most fit. Like he's not even like the most physically biggest. Like he's got some size to him, but he's not like the most physical, specimen out there. Which is why it's also very impressive. So,
I think the Kings are going to win this series. I changed my mind. I originally said the Warriors because of playoff experience, but the Kings coming out and throat punching the Warriors they did in Game 1. It was like wow. And they have a lot of contributors. You have Trey Lyles put up 17 points. They have Harrison Barnes, who I really like. Obviously, Fox and Sabonis, Malik Monk off the bench. Like they have a ton of contributors. Kevin Huerter too. So I think they're going to win. But one more game I want to go over before we move on real quick. How about the Lakers-Grizzlies game?
Yeah, I think it was
Austin Reeves.
There was no shocker there. I knew that. I'm going to tell you now. This is a series the Grizzlies are going to lose.
I think so too.
We both said that. Yep.
It shouldn't be an upset. This should be obvious that the Lakers are going to win. They look outmatched. Ja looks like a shell of himself now. Ever since the BS that happened where he got suspended, he's looked like a shell of himself. He's really fallen off. And not having Steven Adams there, because I think he's still out, right? He's still injured?
Yep.
That just makes more of a problem. It's more of a problem, and that's why I think Triple J is not doing well, because he doesn't have a big man to back him up in Steven Adams.
He doesn't have.
Of course.
He's one of the most underappreciated centers, I think, in the game in the last 5 years.
True.
Dude
Very
is
underrated.
Insanely good as a defender, and it's never talked about. He's very physical, great rebounder. Defense is solid in the paint. He really is someone that you don't really recognize, but you know he's good when you watch him. And Sabonis got hurt.
Oh,
did he?
Shit.
He just looked like he just took a shot to the face.
I hate to interrupt this, but Brett Beatty just hit an RBI single. Fuck you, Easy Out Escobar.
I need to add something baseball related too, and you guys are not going to believe this. So how long has Chris Bryant been a Rocky?
2 years.
Oh, I heard this. I know the number. I know what you're going to say.
Today was his first home run at Coors Field as a Rocky.
Oh, he hit it today.
Yep.
Wow, okay. I knew that statistic. I just did not expect it. Okay. I didn't know today was going to be the
Just
day.
a little curveball. Just a little curveball.
Brian, how much you think Austin Reeves is going to earn on the open market this year?
Can I say one thing about him?
He's going to be like Alex Caruso.
Can I say one thing? That dude literally came from like I'm not talking about personal background. I'm talking about his basketball. Dude was like a 0-star recruit in like high school and whatnot. Like he grinded his ass up to the NBA.
He's still grabbing his face.
I give him a lot of respect for that.
The Lakers actually had 4 20-point scorers. Hachimura's played really well with the Lakers. I think they fixed up his mechanics. I think he's going to become a real role player there. Anthony
Not gonna
Davis.
hold.
What?
It's not going to hold.
You don't think Hachimura's going to still be good?
No, he'll still be good, but he's not going to put up what he just put up last game.
No, I don't think he'll have 20, but I think he's going to be a very valuable shooter. Anthony Davis obviously he returned in that game. So he had his 20. LeBron obviously had his 20. So I think the Lakers have a bunch of ammo shooting wise. But the thing with Sacramento is they can't Memphis, they can't score from the 3-point line. They don't have an abundance of 3-point shooting. Like their best guys are Desmond Bane and Luke Kennard. So that's why I think the series is over.
I could totally see that for sure. I think the Lakers are obviously going to win this. And if that happens, I'm going to say one thing. The Kings could have the hardest path to the finals we might have ever seen. They got to deal with the Warriors right now. Then they got to go deal with the Lakers afterwards.
Just don't let it be rigged like 2002.
Yeah, no, don't let it be. And then after the Lakers, if they get by them, the Western Conference Final could be against the Denver Nuggets. So you got 3 strong teams they'd have to beat in order to make the finals.
I don't like the Nuggets in like the conference or semifinals. I think they always melt in those rounds.
Yeah, but the thing is, they're going to obviously get past the Wolves. I'm not.
Of course, that's
no one's saying they're going to.
The Wolves are just going to create more problems, and that you try to fight more, get suspensions. But like, that's what else is that going to do? I mean, let's see, who would they have to face after this? The winner, Clippers, Suns, right?
Yes.
So they'll either have to place the Nuggets or the Suns in order to make the finals. Like, if they win all 3 of those to make the finals, I got nothing to say. I don't think anybody will beat them. But they need to win this series first.
Cracklenut says he thinks the Clippers or Suns go to the finals. I'm saying
so the winner of this match. Okay. I call bullshit.
I'm surprised they pulled off a victory last night, the Clippers, but it shows how well coached they are under Ty Lue. And I think, I don't agree with Stephen A. Smith often. He thinks that Lue is the best coach in the NBA. I'd say he's one of.
Yeah, I mean, last night was big proof of that because, you didn't have Paul George.
Right.
And that's what made it so different. Because I would have never thought the Clippers would win this series or have a chance. Dude, Kawhi had a takeover like it was Toronto 2019 all over again. Dropping 38 on 3 of 5 from 3, 13 of 24 from the field, 9 of 10 from the line, 15 rebounds. He carried, not 15, 5 rebounds and 5 assists. I read Zubac's number by accident. But, yeah, he really took over the game, and I also want to give credit out to a couple other guys, Eric Gordon did his role as the shooter.
Yep.
I also want to give credit to Norman Powell, plus 11 that night, 14 points, and Terrence Mann doing his thing, all of a sudden arriving in the playoffs once again. I think he had 10 last night as well, plus 13.
I originally thought the series was over, but not anymore. Like, I originally thought it was going to be like Suns in 5 or 6, but I think this can be pushed to like 7.
Did you guys see the Westbrook?
Westbrook, despite the stats, John, I might add, 3 of 19, but his hustle at the end of the game last night was incredible.
I was going to say, did you see the fan interaction he had?
Yeah.
Yeah. That fan should not be welcomed in another Suns game. Should not. I'm not saying anything about Westbrook here. Where Westbrook's response was fair. Because if I was in that situation, I would have been more pissed.
Hold up. I got one, but this isn't the first time he's gotten into it with fans too, Westbrook.
Yeah, it's not the first time, but this one isn't his fault.
I'm not saying
when they're pressing you like that, you're going to snap. It's human.
I'm not saying he's not human. And it's not his first. It's that the fan was necessarily right, but How many times is he gonna do it?
What a slam!
You saw the Harrison Barnes dunk, right?
That dunk, right? The dunk on whoever that was.
It's
He's
Thompson.
coming around with his right arm right on, and somebody tried to put his hand up, and he's like, "No, screw you!" Oh my god! Oh my gosh, that place is rocking. Go off, Sacramento. Go
Gotta be
off.
the end of the half.
And a rollout, deep three. Oh, Sabonis with the foul. My God.
Got fouled.
But he's hurting even more now.
He's such a good rebounder.
He's grabbing his knee. He grabbed his knee.
So, John, what were you saying about Westbrook?
It's just, you have too many of these instances, you're going to get a bad rep. And that's why a lot of people don't like him. And I'm not saying in this scenario he's right, but it's kind of a reason why I don't like him. He's got to cut that shit out, man. And he's done it in person at games. He's done it on Twitter. Like, it's a bad look.
But I'm going to say it again. Westbrook did nothing wrong. This is all the fan. I'm actually more concerned about the kid who's trying to eat.
How many fucking instances are we going to give him credit for?
Listen, I'm not justifying any of the other stuff. I'm saying this time it's not his fault. That is a fair reaction.
I understand it was fair, but he's done it so. Brian, if you keep, it's like being associated with bad people. You keep associating with them, even though it's not your fault. You're gonna get a bad rep.
What bad people is he associating himself with?
No, I'm not saying
it's a comparison, Brian.
It's a comparison.
Look, you can say whatever you want about his past. I'm not focusing on the past. I'm focusing on
it was this
right
season
now.
too.
This incident is not him. It was a reaction. I would have had the same thing. I probably would have punched the guy in the face, honestly.
I think the fan's an asshole. I'm agreeing with you there. But I'm saying this is why he gets a bad rep.
Because the fans push him.
But dude, you're an athlete. You're gonna get people that are gonna get under your skin.
Okay, I mean, if you're,
I have a question. Every fan that boos, every fucking fan that boos, we're gonna go attack them.
That's not what happened, though. You're going off the rails.
No,
There's nothing to do. He didn't boo him. Listen to the tape. He wasn't booing him.
Do I gotta pull it out?
Luca, Alex, how many times do I have to say that the fan was wrong?
Guys, pull up the tape. Pull up the tape, because honestly, I'm not excusing.
Not go to your head.
I am not excusing anything.
Brian.
Thank you, Brew Crew. Thank you.
And should be able to get away with that.
Brew Crew, as I'm saying, the fan was wrong. I said that like 30 times. I'm just saying that Westbrook gets into it too much with fans. It's happened in the past. In this case, I understand, but he gets a bad rep for it. He's got to stop getting into shit like this.
I get it, okay? But why is it
bad?
When people call him Russell Westbrook, he shouldn't react. That I'll say. If people
and it's happened a bunch of times, though.
Going after his game, booing him, that's different. When you talk about a man's family, expect him to fight and try to get you.
I understand. I understand. I'm not saying the fan was right. I'm just saying it's not a good look sometimes.
To not react, yes, I know, and that's the problem. Westbrook needs to pick and choose his battles. Okay, is that what you want me to say?
Yes, he does.
Okay, yes, pick and choose his battles. I will agree. All I am saying is that if it pertains to your family, I'd have the same reaction, maybe worse. But if it was about my game, about my performance, I'm gonna ignore the guy. Maybe chirp back a little bit, but nothing to be like, "Yo, get him out of here." Like, I'm not gonna go up and start a fight or be like, "Get out of here." Like, I'm gonna poke a little fun. If it's about my game, if it's about my family, that's different. I'm coming.
I get it, but I'm just saying too. Like, you guys are all Yankee fans, right? You don't think people say shit terrible to Aaron Hicks?
Of course they do. I've witnessed it. I've done it.
Exactly. See, you see.
So have I. I've done stuff too. I've said stuff. But you know but listen, I don't say anything bad about his
Aaron
family.
Hicks didn't fight you.
But here's the difference, okay? With Hicks, nobody goes out there and tells him, crazy stuff about his wife or about his kids. Nobody does that.
You sure
Nobody
about
who does
that?
that.
You sure about that?
Okay, Alex,
sure?
Alex, just trust me here. If there were fans who did that, they lose my respect. You shouldn't be doing that about a man's family or anything.
I agree, but there's definitely fans that have done it. Come on now, let's not be naive.
And Brew Crew makes another great point here. If other Yankee fans come after Hicks' family, I'm saying something to them about it. Exactly.
I support
that.
I'm not advocating they do it, but I can't be naive and act like they haven't done it. Like, come on.
I didn't say they haven't done it. I said they have done it, and if they did have done it, then they should be dealt with accordingly. That's the problem. There shouldn't be this issue where you bring up a guy's personal life.
Yeah, I don't want them attacking Westbrook's. You want to attack his game, fine. I don't want them attacking his family, but my point is, it's just too many instances where this has happened with him. In this case, the fan was wrong, but after a certain while, it does look bad on him. This is why he gets a bad rep.
How about we roll the tape?
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, we can play it. Yeah, because I saw the video.
Watch him out. Take it like a man. Watch him out. Watch him out. Straight like that. Watch him out. Talk about it. Be about it.
I just like how the guy goes, "What?" There's a guy in the background going, "Yeah, Westbrook's a bitch." It's like the guy in the background saying,
"We know,
What exactly did the guy say to Westbrook?
He said something about I think he said something about his family. I can't remember exactly the words. Let me see. Let me just look it up real quick. Westbrook fan. That's how I'm going to find out what a fan said. What did the fan say is the question. Let's see.
Thank you, Brew Crew. Appreciate it.
Of course.
What did the fan say? I know it was about family. I mean,
I don't know the exact quote that was said, but I did hear something that it was
somebody said that it was because a fan called him Westbrook.
If that's the case,
I'm gonna agree with you if that was the case. But
if that's the case, then that's bad on him. I'm sorry.
It's a mixed report. That's what I'm not understanding. And it happened at halftime of a game with fans who were sitting in the VIP sections as the players are walking through.
Well, I'm sorry if that report is because they called him Westbrook. You know what, Westbrook? Fucking shoot better. You've been shooting like ass for years now. Fucking do better.
So here I'm on a Yahoo page, and this is apparent. Now they take this, I guess, right there. I don't see anything about family. But what I
saw something on Twitter earlier. I don't.
Here are the quotes. Apparently, let me just make sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. The fan says, "What happened? What happened, bro?" While standing to face Westbrook, Westbrook goes, "Watch your mouth." The fan says, "Take it like a man." Westbrook says, "Watch your mouth, motherfucker. Watch your mouth." Fan responds, "Talk about it. Be about."
Ooh,
yeah.
And he was. But see, this is where we start getting to weird territory. Westbrook engaged, and the fan basically said, "Do something about it." He basically was saying, "Do something. Try me. Throw a punch. Do it."
What is this thing that it was involved with family? Because I'm not seeing that.
That's what I thought it was. I've been hearing people saying that it had to do with family, but now I'm going to where they're all saying it's because he called him Westbrook. But they tell him to play better.
That's the case.
And if that's the case, I'm on John's side here. You don't engage with that. But he's known for engaging with Westbrook. And anytime somebody criticizes his game, that I'm going to disagree with. You can play with the fan and interact with that, but you do not engage in a negative way by saying, "I'm going to beat the shit out of you. You better watch your mouth.
Miles Straw.
I'm going to come at you." Like, yeah, don't be like Miles Straw who comes into the stands and threatens to punch a Yankee fan in the face because they called him ass. Like, come on,
motherfucker. Yeah,
I think that's a little different with Straw because it's like a one-time scenario compared to Westbrook, where it's been a multiple repeat offense.
Yeah, he's done it so many times. I mean, yeah, there you go. Somebody, Brooker just said it. But if you're going to call him Westbrook, stand by your statement. Don't try and hide behind people after you say it. That's true. He was saying take it like a man and be about it. But at the same time, he was the one that was kind of backing away a little bit, letting the security guard push him. Like, if you really wanted to be about it, you push against the security guard and you put more pressure and try to go at him. Like, to me, that's what you do. Get your money's worth. Go ahead, prove it. Prove your man of your word as the fan. Go after
him. The fan should, if they really want to talk smack, go ahead, stand up. Don't hide like a little chicken shit. But if you're gonna, if you're gonna call someone, if you can't handle Westbrook, I'm sorry, shoot the fucking ball better.
I'm not going to disagree. I'm going to stand with you on that. But I'm going to continue to state, if it's ever brought up about family, I will completely understand anything.
Family, I can understand. I can understand that.
I'm letting Anthony Rendon punch me in the face.
That guy's such a wuss.
I can't talk about that. That I'm not going to talk about.
That was a funny comment.
Such a wuss cake.
Yeah, fuck him. Former
stupid team.
Former typical Washington.
Okay, so we're gonna but we were still on awards, right? Because I think we took a severe detour.
No, I think we were done with the awards. We were talking about the Laker game, no?
I think we were down to what? MVP still? We had MVP and what else? Is that it?
I think we can move off of the awards, and you guys want to talk your hockey, you can.
Okay, interesting. Well, we know we got hockey active right now, still going on, but
yeah, we got.
I'm going to make this known right now. These Panthers are not winning this series. This is done. They couldn't win this game. It's done.
I think it's a quick wrap, but tomorrow's my team, the Mr. New York Ranger hat over here. And Brian, this is going to be one of the closer series. I'm telling you, this series is go to 7. I'm not going to give my pick yet, but I'll just start doing a little dive into it. So, first off, they had 4 regular season matchups, by the way. The Rangers won 1, lost 2 in regulation, and then lost 1 in overtime. So that they are 1-2-1 against them. But we look into like more of the stats and whatnot. Brian, in terms of offense, I actually think the Devils have the edge over us. Or actually, no. I'll say the Rangers have the edge. I'm sorry. I looking at my notes wrong. I say the Rangers have the edge because the Devils, even though they had more goals per game than us, the one thing I'll say, the Rangers have a better depth lines than the Devils because for the Devils, you got Hughes, who had almost only cracked 100 points this year, and he broke out. He can score, Timo Meier, and whatnot. And then, that's easy. So basically, if you have like, I guess, Brew Crew. So you have an ice and you have like lines. You have a red line in the middle. You have 2 blue lines at the start of each zone, and then there's red lines behind the goal line, I guess you could call it. And so basically, in order to dump the puck in, you cannot shoot it from your own zone. You have to skate into the attacking zone past the middle way, and then you can dump it in. Anywho, Brian, I think the Rangers have the edge just because the kid line, Heed'll hit over 20 goals. Kakko and Lafreniere almost hit 20 goals. I think they're just better at depth goal scoring than the Devils. When I look at that. Your thoughts?
I think if you're going to talk defensively, I'm going to look defensively more. I think the goalie matchup is solid.
Okay.
It's a solid goalie matchup. I think Vanecek's having a better year than we expected, and that's why they're more competitive.
I don't think he's better than Shesterkin, though.
But they're close. I won't deny that they're close. I think Vanecek had a very good year.
He did, but I still...
It's not better than Shesterkin. Shesterkin had a better save percentage.
Yeah.
Not by much, but still better. They're almost the same
down year,
and they do each face a lot of shots.
Mm-hmm.
And so in this case, I think the only thing they have the advantage is that Shesterkin is a Vezina winner, and he's been the anchor of the New York Rangers, honestly, because you guys have such a strong attacking team, and when your defensive line isn't doing great, at least you know your goalie's physical enough and flexible enough to make some incredible saves and help lessen the damage. That I've noticed. Now, if you're talking about the Devils here, let's look at it like this. Rangers are a top 5 goaltending team. That's that. Like goals against per game, like defensively, the Rangers have the 4th lowest goals against per game.
But I'll say this. They've had some lapses.
And it's important because the Devils score the 4th most goals per game, 3.52. They have a very good, fast, young offensive attack compared to the Rangers who are more technical.
Right.
I think compared to that, you guys are more of a technique team. They're more of a speedy team.
That's right.
And that's where things get close because you guys are where? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You guys are 12th in goals scored per game.
Yeah.
You guys are at about 3.33 and Devils are at 3.52. They're an explosive team, but you guys are more technical about how you guys do it. And in terms of total points this year, you guys sit at 10. And the Devils are sitting at 6 in points.
Right.
In fact, the Panthers have scored more points this year than them, which is a little weird to me. But offensively, Devils are faster and quicker, so you guys have to outsmart them and show the veteran knowledge.
I think
the
the
advantage
Devils
of having Kane and Mika and Tarasenko and all these
Aaron.
guys who have the experience are going to play a big role. And in the defensive lines, you've got some great guys in the first two. It's just about afterwards. You guys have the depth to hold back.
Mm-hmm.
Because overall, the Devils' attack is strong in all lines. If you want to talk about, let's say,
John,
what?
look at the TV.
I don't want to.
John, look at the TV.
The
Look
Mets
at the
blew
TV.
it, didn't they?
Freddie Freeman, 2-run homer.
So bad. Peterson, you're a pile of fucking dog shit. Go fuck yourself. How bad can you be? Every time we score, you're a worthless pile of crap. Oh my god.
Shit.
Do me a favor. Change pitching arms because you suck as a lefty. Holy fuck, man.
Tell us how you really feel.
How does a team take 3 leads and their pitcher gives it right back? Explain that one to me. Such a pile of dog
You
shit.
know what reminds me? It reminds me when we went to the Brewers game last year.
Oh my god.
And we walked out, and the game wasn't even over yet. We were like the 7th inning, and we walked out because of just how bad it got because of Peterson.
Yeah, sure. Let's keep him in, Buck. Yeah, let's let
We
him
were like, yeah, it's going to be a close game. And then all of a sudden, the Brewers, after I showed my Yankees jersey on the Jumbotron and flashed it out, the Mets gave up 6 runs in the 1 inning right after I did that.
Unbelievable. We can hit Dustin May, but we got Joker Peterson that can't throw a fucking fastball the right way. Oh my god.
Love it.
All right,
Love
I'm not getting into this
Let's
schmuck
go.
right now.
Yeah, let's stay on hockey.
I'm not
hockey.
getting into Evan brings up a nice comment because this is where I was going next. I think the Devils are the better defensive team.
Yes.
Because I think they're better 5-on-5, and I think their speed game it really starts in the back end. First off, Dougie Hamilton had an incredible year for them. I think he's a well-established top 2 defenseman. But then you got guys like Siegenthaler. I like Ryan Graves back there. I'm just trying to. Let me actually go look at the lines they do have for the
And I'm going to give you some numbers real quick to back you up
Go ahead.
here. The better defensive team. Penalty kill percentage. We all know the Bruins have the number 1 in the league at 87.3%. Ridiculous number.
Mm-hmm.
But the Devils are 4th in the league at 82.6.
Yeah, very good
And
penalty
the Rangers sit at an 81.2, which puts them just behind the Maple Leafs.
Mm-hmm.
But that's, again, not a bad number in my opinion. Let's see what else. I'm focusing more on the skating stats. Let's look at the goaltending numbers real quick for both squads. Yeah, the Devils are still a top 10 team in goals allowed a game.
I disagree, Evan. I think the Rangers have a lot more skill offensively with all their high-end offense, and I think they're better with depth scoring in the bottom 6. But in terms of defense, I think you guys play a better team game 5-on-5. John Marino was a fantastic pickup for you guys, in my opinion. I think they fleeced the idiot Ron Hextall in Pittsburgh because he just got canned like 2 days ago. So sayonara, little.
Would you say that the Devils have more of a? I'm going to say, I think this is a casual NHL fan. Would you say that the Rangers have more scores, but the Devils are a little more top heavy with like a lot more quicker guys?
Yeah, I'd say that for sure.
Definitely.
And then Brian, you mentioned the special teams. That's where I think the Rangers are gonna succeed because their power play can be very dangerous.
Yeah, their power play percentage, right? That's usually how often they score a goal on power plays.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You guys sit right now at number, I think it's 7 in the league in that. And the Devils are actually 13th.
Right. No, yeah, you're right.
In percentage.
And guys, when you have a power play that you could put out there is Zibanejad, Kreider, you could put Kane, Fox, Trocheck you could put Tarasenko. You can mix it however. You could put any of the kids. Remember, Hedel had like 23 goals this year, so he's another option. But a very dangerous power play. And in my overall, I think this game series goes to 7. I got the Rangers in 7 because I just think the goaltending matchup just doesn't work out. And you guys realize that goaltending really is like the main important thing, because I know that the Devils can outplay the Rangers 5-on-5. And Jets Mess brings up the comment, yeah, they're built for the regular season, but when you don't have playoffs, like let's say you go cold just a little and your goalie can't bail you out, I don't see Vanacek doing that for them.
I agree with this comment right here.
I agree too, Evan. I didn't think the Devils would be this good. Nobody did. They were the surprise team of the year.
Except for me. I'm the only one.
I'll give you credit, Brian.
When we did our little NHL show, what was it called? What the Puck? Was that the show? Yep, What the Puck. I did an episode with him, and we were talking about it during the offseason. I said, after all the additions the Devils made, there was a good chance that the Devils could finally make the playoffs. I said they can make the push. They got a lot of great young guys that are starting to emerge, break through. They got a decent goalie in there. I said, maybe this is the year they finally go back to the playoffs. And he was like, I don't think so. I think the Devils are still a bottom of the barrel pack. They're kind of like he said, I think he said bottom 10 team. I thought they were a bottom 10 team still, and they still needed more experience. I said I could see the other opposite. They could make it in, and they did as a 2 seed in the division, which is great for them. I'm really happy. But in terms of penalty minutes, I do have to ask you about this stat. Penalty minutes is usually how many times you get called for penalties, really? That's what that's do. All right. In terms of penalties, which is usually the big thing we're concerned about, the Devils and Rangers are almost identical in penalty minutes as one of the best in the league with it, because Rangers have the 4th least and the Devils have the 5th least.
They're very disciplined teams.
It's going to come down to who's going to be able to benefit on the power play.
That's right.
That's what will come into key here. That's what it will come down to. Because if it comes down to power play, you guys just start going to bail you out. And he could bail you out very often. But for the Devils, can Vanacek do it?
I don't think he can. I think he had a fine season. I just don't think he's ready for the moment yet. And again, the Devils are very inexperienced. I think they get back to the playoffs. This is a great step for them. But I think they get bounced in 7. But hey, there's been some great moments in this rivalry. They kicked us out in 2012 on the Adam Henrique overtime goal. Then we had maybe back in 2008, the Sean Avery, Marty Brodeur rivalry. So it's going to be a fucking hell of a series. I'll tell you that.
This is going to be very crazy. I mean, I got to travel to work here in Jersey so often. The travel is going to be a nightmare when the series starts.
I think this series is going to be the most competitive. Like we saw some, a little uncompetitive games tonight. I think this series is going to 7. So.
All right. Luca, you have any final thoughts? I think we could save any of the NFL for next week because we'll have mock drafts, we'll have rumors, we'll have whenever the hell Aaron Rodgers is going to be a Jet.
Yeah.
You guys are still waiting on that. Anyway.
Eventually.
Yes. What was I going to say? Sunday, we're actually going to do, by the way, thank you, John, for reminding me in private chat. We're going to do a Mets game for a little change up on the channel. You guys get to see how John reacts for 2 hours.
Now, Sunday's the 23rd, right?
So it's Sunday Night Baseball.
Knicks games after. I think I could do a doubleheader.
You're going to do a doubleheader? What time's the Knicks? No, wait. The Knicks play? Oh, that's right. They play
They could. It's a 1 o'clocker. I don't think it's a 1 o'clocker for the Knicks on Sunday, so it's a doubleheader. I don't mind calling both.
Yeah, because the Mets got the Sunday Night Baseball this week against the San Francisco Mets, as I like to call them.
Yep.
The Wilmer Flores, Michael Conforto, all going to come back to haunt me.
J.D. Davis.
Darren Ruff.
Esco
Ruff. Sox, my man.
Sox, what's going on, man? Hope you all are doing well. Just getting to the end of the stream. Have a good night. Good luck to the Knicks. The Nets are terrible. Thank you.
Let me ask you guys a quick thing, just bringing this up, actually. I'm not asking anything. Did he hit it? Yes, he did. Okay. The Sacramento has a 9-point lead right now. And they are hot. They are hitting everything beyond the arc right now.
I just need
Warriors have no answer.
I just need Kevin Herter to not grab another rebound, and then I win my little parlay.
I need to see, honestly, you know what the series is going to come down to? It's going to come down to if they can take one in Golden State.
Of course.
If they could take one in San Fran from the Warriors, I could totally guarantee that the Kings will win. They got to take one because it looks like they're going to go 2-0 here.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. They're going to go 2-0 here. And with the Warriors, if you can't stop them in your own home, you're not stopping them in general. They could be 3-1 by the time that's done.
Correct. But I'll throw it to Brian, John, Luca, and then myself for final thoughts.
All right, final thoughts. First off, thank you guys for having me. I'm going to try to zone out less often because we hit a massive on the over today. So anybody who put down money on that, congratulations. You just made massive bank. Probably should have went with the alternate line of over 4. But I'll say this, it's always it's always fun and a privilege to be here with you guys as a guest. Yankees, let's see what happens. I think the series against Twins was concerning, but let's see how they do against the Angels. Hopefully they're able to rebound strong. Jumping over to NBA real quick. Bucks are going to be fine, I think. I'm not in panic mode yet, as Aaron Rodgers said, because, Green Bay, Milwaukee, same thing. There's a big thing I got to say here. Relax. 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 We're going to be okay. Giannis is okay. We'll be okay. As for hockey, Panthers are screwed at this point. If they couldn't win today, they're not winning in general. They might maybe take a game in Florida, but that's it. And in terms of – and actually staying on the hockey topic real quick, me and John are still talking about the possibility of doing a play-by-play stream tomorrow on my channel for Twitch for the Rangers and Devils Game 1. If not, we may do Game 2. We're not sure yet. We're still working out the kinks with it, but if we get it right, we're going to make an announcement tomorrow, and we're going to give you guys the time and everything. We're probably going to start a little bit early, maybe around 6:30. And,
well, regardless, because I want to make sure both games are at 7.
Yeah, tomorrow's game is at 7 for sure.
No, I'm making sure for Thursday's game too. I'll make it. I don't remember times. Yep. All right, Thursday would be a 7:30 start.
Okay, so it's still kind of close, just a little bit later.
Right.
But regardless, we're talking about doing a play-by-play stream either tomorrow or Thursday. Regardless, we're going to do some hockey talk. We're going to cover the game, talk about some different shots, maybe talk about some other playoff games going on at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of potential there. I'll leave if anything, I'll tell you guys now, the Twitch channel is called B-Man Reacts, B-M-A-N Reacts on Twitch. You guys can follow the page there. I stream occasionally, doing some coverage for NFL stuff, for NBA stuff, for college stuff, just around the whole sports spectrum. And I react to a lot of things, give my analysis. It's a lot of fun, and I'm hoping to do some podcast shows soon on there with some guests. So, yeah.
In the chat.
Thank you so much.
So, please follow. John.
What have we learned today, ladies?
David Peterson's dog shit.
Yes, he is. He is absolute filth, squabble, squire, dirt, whatever you want to call him. He's garbage. I am done with the David Peterson experiment. No, thank you. I don't know who's worse between him or Mr. Cookie Crumbles, but they're both playing neck and neck for worst pitcher on the team. We got Knicks and Rangers playoffs tomorrow. So, guys, let's go. We fucking got this. Let's get 2 playoff wins. We can do it. And I'm also very excited for the NFL mock draft. Draft and I guess the mock drafts that we put out. So I can't wait for that.
Draft week is next week. Luca.
Final thoughts. Tomorrow we'll be live with Jigaman Porto and Hector Beauchamp from Brew Crew Sports. Next Morning Brew, Yankees Morning Brew. Don will also join us. 7:30, Knicks Cavs Game 2. Thursday, if y'all don't know, I will be on the Jets Turbulent Challenge. We're going to do a collective mock draft. First round mock draft being that. Yankees will be on game season Wednesday. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll see what the Yankees do this week. And can't wait for the NFL draft.
Yeah. You guys think you're doing a draft stream?
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We're doing doing probably streams all the way up to Saturday. Got a pack week coming up, but it's up to me to organize that in the full extent. Like, comment, subscribe to all the good stuff, everybody. Appreciate y'all coming out, the super chats, the members, everybody. As Luca mentioned, we will be live tomorrow night for the Knicks Cavs Game 2 with the one, the only Jigaman Porto and Hector Beauchamp of Brew Crew Sports and Knights of Degen. But we appreciate you guys. We'll see you next time. Peace.